UK, wherever you happen to be, you are very, very welcome. Say hi to Neil. He's in the production gallery, stuffing his face with wagon wheels at the moment. He is in total control. Well, at least that's what it says on this bit of paper here. You believe that, you believe anything. And he'll be popping in, of course, just after 11 o'clock for a little natter as well, and keep us up to date with what's happening with the news and the weather and all the other usual bits and pieces as we do. Apart from that, programme as normal, stack of tunes to get through. The dedications always very, very welcome. A little natter on the phones later on. Few laughs. Anything else that we fancy, really, which I think probably sums it all up. So whatever you've been up to today, hopefully you're relaxed and ready for 3 hours of goodies. But seriously, I mentioned earlier on about the why it is everyone goes to the garden centres on bank holidays. I suppose the weather was nice and people thought, yeah, I'll go down the garden centre, get a few plants, a bit of topsoil and a bit of this, that and the other. You couldn't move. You could not move. Every garden centre was chocker today. So I'm sure there are probably still people in the garden centres now who work there, counting the loot. They probably had a very good day indeed. And good on you. Weather was beautiful. And if you're off for the rest of the week or you've got a few more days off, the weather looks that's going to be absolutely gorgeous as well. So to be enjoyed. So in the first hour of the programme, as always, we do our little competition. This is the game that we call Taxi. Any minute now, the taxi's going to come along... Excuse me. And hopefully there'll be a famous person in that taxi. You've got to try and work out who that person is based on a few little clues. Okay? So with a bit of luck, in fact, hark, do I hear that taxi coming now? I think I do. Ooh. Can't see anybody in the back, though. Let me have a little look. Open the door. There's nobody in there. The taxi's empty, George. There's no one in this... All right, then we'll go. Nothing in the taxi at all, nobody. Oh, hang on a minute, what's this over here? Ah, the person who was last in the taxi, though, did leave something behind. So what I'm going to do is ask you to try and work out what this item or object is that has been left behind in the taxi. So it works in exactly the same way. We've got 3 questions here: an anagram, a mystery song, and a what am I? Now, it's the answers to those questions that give us the clues that relate to this thing. All right? Now, you don't have to have a go at all 3 of them. You go for whichever one you want to. Maybe you like the music quizzes, and so you can have a go at that. Possibly you like word games, so you can have a go at the anagram. Or the very ambiguous, what am I? Whichever one you fancy, you have a little go. I shall give you the contact numbers in a sec, and then once we start to get some right answers, they will lead you to this object that has been left in the taxi. So let's see if we can get an answer nice and quick. As always, no prizes to be given away for the first 3 questions, but the first person to work out what the object is will get one of my bugs. All right? So let's get ourselves cracking then, see what we've got. Number 1, as always, is an anagram. You need to unscramble these letters to give you a phrase, a person, a place, an expression, or something like that. And tonight's anagram is as follows. 3 beacon shops. Okay, that is the anagram tonight. If you want to have a go at that, you know what to do. 3 beacon shops. Let me spell the words for you to make sure we're absolutely right here. 3 as the number, THREE, beacon, BEACON, and shops, SHOPS. So get unscrambling that lot and see what you get. Maybe you prefer the mystery tune. And this is a tiny clip taken from a very well-known song. It could be the beginning, it could be somewhere in the middle, or it may be towards the end of the song. That is what you've got to work out. So, what song is this taken from? Yep, that is all you're going to get. Do you think you know? And finally, for number 3... the what am I? This could be literally anything, but the clue is as follows. I'm only found in one colour. What am I? I'm only found in one colour. What do you think it is?
Call BBC Radio Kent 08459 811111.
That is the way you get in contact. You can text 07786 200 961. That's 07786 200 961. Or you can email if you wish, Paul Muller Show, that's all one word, paulmullershow@bbc.co.uk. So as is customary, I'll give them to you once again in reverse order. Number 3 is the what am I? It's an object or a thing. You've just got to guess what it is based on the clue. And the clue is I'm only found in one colour. Think about that. Number 2 is the mystery tune. Really well-known song. That's just a tiny part of it. Do you think you know? And finally, number 1 is the anagram. 3 beacon shops. 3 beacon shops. Unscramble the letters, you'll end up with what we're looking for.
Call BBC Radio Kent 08459 811111.
Have a wild guess. You never know. You may have the right answer. And of course, as soon as we start to get some answers, that will lead you to ultimately what this thing is. And the first person to work out what the thing is will get one of my bugs. Sounds good. A couple of mentions to do. First of all, I must say hello to M, who says, Paul, can you please say hello to D in Hove? And hope that you all had a good chocky-tastic weekend. You're certainly right, we did. And also, I've got to say hello to Flash Penny and the Shed Massive, who are relaxing after a day in the shed, creating the sounds. Sounds good to me, so hello to you. And Gary from Slinfold, goodness knows how he came up with this one. He says, but I'm going to have a go at the object straight away. I think it's a jam sandwich. Gary? No. A jam sandwich from that from him. Goodness knows. Johnny Nash song sung by Jimmy Cliff. You get the drift? Good. I can see clearly now. Paul Muller Show coming up to 20 past 10. It's the BBC in the South. We're around the world at bbc.co.uk. So, competition then in full swing. Let's see if we can get a right answer nice and quickly on this one. We've got the anagram, 3 beacon shops. 3 beacon shops. Number 2 is the mystery song, which sounds a bit like that. And then number 3, what am I? I'm only found in one colour. I'm only found in one colour. What do you reckon? Very busy on the phones. Hang on in there. Neil will be with you as soon as he can. And as always, I promise to do as many texts and emails as I can as well. We get so many of them, but I will do as many as I can squeeze in. Oh, yes, and Sally rung through from Barton-on-Sea and says, do us a favour, Paul, can you please say hello to Jean and Neville, who are in Highcliffe in Dorset, and a special kiss to Jean as well. There you go. Before 10:30, if possible, consider it done. Let's go to Strood and speak to Dave. Hi, Dave.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
Not too bad, mate, you?
Very well indeed. Are you working?
I'm finished now. I'm just on my way back to the yard.
I see. Some people have been out and about keeping the old wheels turning today.
Oh, yes.
It's got to be done. And what a good day it was.
Oh, it's been brilliant. All over the weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah. And more to come, they say. The rest of the week will carry on being quite warm.
It wants to stay like it now, till well into the winter.
We are... There's Dave, ever the optimist, eh?
Oh, you've got to be optimistic, haven't you?
Which one are you going for, my friend?
I'm going for the what am I?
Okay, I'm only found in one colour. What do you think?
I would say it's the sky during daylight.
The sky during daylight. It's always blue. Hopefully, anyway. Could be, but it is not. Not the one.
Okay,
Never mind.
Never mind.
Good to speak to you as always, my
It's got
friend.
one out of the way anyway.
Yeah, quite right too. Have a good evening, won't you? And all the best.
And you, Paul.
Cheers. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. There is Dave from Strood with the sky. A couple of other people went for the sky as well. Elizabeth, who is in Dorking. Martin in Oxford. And also Peter, who is in Hedge End, also thought the sky. The sky is not right. Ruth's in Benson. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
I'm very tired.
Have you had a busy day?
Yes, very busy.
What you been up to?
In the garden.
Oh, today was clearly gardening day, full stop. I mean, apparently the garden centres were
I heard you
solid.
say.
Yeah. I've heard from a couple of people saying there were just crowds of people. You could not move.
No. I just contented myself with being in my own garden. clearing up.
Yes, that time of year, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you've got Mother Nature's winter to sort out.
Oh, you have indeed.
It's
That's
got to
right.
be done. But I'm sure it's looking nice now.
It is, yes. Yep, I've nearly got there.
Brilliant.
Well, at least at the back, I've got the front to do.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
And
Never
then
mind.
once you've done that, then the back will need doing again.
Oh, I know, but it's lovely.
You enjoy doing it, do you?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
that's all right. then. Just
Oh,
not
yes,
so
it's
bad.
not a chore.
Good.
No.
Now, you're going to have a go for the overall answer.
Yes.
Go on, then.
I think it might, well, the thing that was found in the taxi, if it's only one colour, could be a glass eye.
A glass eye. Should I tell you something, Ruth?
What?
It is not. It is not a glass eye.
I didn't think it was.
But it's one out the way. That's the main thing.
It is, yes.
Nice to speak to you
All
as
right,
well.
then.
You take care.
Yes, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, my love. Bye-bye. There is Ruth from Benson. No. Nick is on the A3. Hi, Nick.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Well, yeah, okay.
What are you doing on the A3? You're not working, I hope.
No, we're on our way to another show. We've done a couple of shows in the antique trade.
Oh, right. So what do you
Yeah.
do then? Are you sort of antique experts?
No, definitely not. We recycle things. That's basically the nature of the game, isn't it?
Recycle
Yeah,
things?
well, you've got to stop things going in the bin, haven't you?
So hang on a minute. So you mean you go around looking at other people's junk that could be worth a few bob and sell it on?
Yeah, that's basically what we do. Yeah.
I've never come across this before.
You've never come across an antique deal? Surely you've been into an antique.
Oh, an antique dealer. Oh, right. Fair enough. That makes sense now.
Yeah.
I just thought that maybe you did it. I thought you maybe did it as a hobby or something. You know, like
We
these.
do it as a hobby, but we're rather passionate about it. It takes up a lot of our time.
Yeah. So, well, would you like to open a shop, or do you have a shop?
No, I wouldn't like to open a shop. Not right now. No, we're certainly part-time.
All right.
But it's
fair
good
enough.
fun. But once we hit the roads, we do a couple of shows back
Mhm.
to back.
Very nice.
Well, it's tiring, but good fun.
Yeah, especially when you come up with come across some little goodies.
Sometimes
I mean-
it's quite rare. It's quite rare that you find anything that's really interesting.
Is that because most people who've got the interesting things know they're interesting anyway?
I think it's part of that, but also really there isn't that much that's super interesting. Most things are just everyday.
Yeah. Do you specialise in anything, Nick?
Musical instruments.
Oh, right.
I've got a passion for those.
So when somebody sticks an old Stradivarius out, you know, for the dustman,
It happens all the time.
you get in there quick.
We found 4 last week.
Did you really?
4 Stradivarius. Yeah.
Good.
Or is it a Stradivari?
Stradivarius it will be
Well,
if there's
are
more
they
than one of them, yeah. Good grief. But never
Look,
mind. You never
Thinking
know.
about this first question, I think
Yes.
they might have come up with the answer to the second.
Which one were you going to have a go for originally? The song?
Well, the musical question, obviously, being a musician.
Okay. So what do you think the song is?
I think it might be. It's only a guess. I think it might be the opening bar of the guitar solo from Wet, Wet, Wet's Love Is All Around Me.
Right, okay. And what was the other one you wanted to have a go at?
On Orange.
For number 3, I'm only found in one colour, an orange.
But then we thought Blood Orange.
Right.
Not technically orange.
Well, let me tell you,
Yeah.
number 3 is not an orange.
Okay.
However, number 2,
Yeah.
wet, 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 love is all around. You got a few people who agree with you here. Tez in Woking on the text
Right.
agrees with you.
Who was
Okay.
first? We've been an antique dealer, all about who is first.
Shaz from Canterbury agrees with you as well.
Well done, Shaz.
So does Wendy from Farnborough.
Well done, Wendy.
Yeah, we've also got Elaine, doesn't say where she is. Rachel from Crawley going for the wets as well. And
Woohoo.
Mark from Hastings. And do you think you're all right?
We've got to be. So many people.
Anita in Epsom, Sarah on the M27, Terry in Eastbourne, all
It was
agree.
easy, really, wasn't it?
You're right.
Wonderful.
Yes, no problem with that one at all. Got it sorted. But I'm afraid there are no prizes at this stage of the competition. So-
That's all right. It's just for fun. We're trying to keep ourselves awake.
Good. Well, how long have you been up then? Have you been up since the crack of dawn?
Since the crack of dawn, literally.
And you
But
go,
we've done- Go on, sorry.
but you're going home now?
No, we're on to another show.
Oh my goodness!
Just travelling through the nights, yeah. It's
So-
a lot of miles. We've been to Lincolnshire and back and Wales and back in the last week.
And where is home for you?
Home at the moment is in Folkestone.
Oh right, so you're close to home than you are anywhere else at the moment.
We're on our way home. We thought we'd
Good.
just stop in and see what we can find in the morning.
Yeah, look out for those Stradivarius.
Exactly. Or Stradivari if you get really lucky. Nice speaking to you.
And you, Nick, take good care.
Take care. Bye.
Safe journey. Bye-bye now.
And you.
There's Nick on the M3 looking for those bargains. Yes. Love is all around. Wet, wet, wet is the song. So number 2 is now sorted out. Brilliant. So we've now got to look at the other 2. Number 1, 3 Beacon Shops. Okay, 3 Beacon Shops. That is the anagram. Turn that into an expression, a place, a phrase, or something else. And then for number 3, I'm only found in one colour. I'm only found in one colour. But what?
Call BBC Radio Kent 08459 811111.
On the text 07786 200 961, email paulmillershow@bbc.co.uk. D from Hove says, Paul, number 3, could it be a lime? It is not. Gwen from Bognor says, maybe a lump of coal? Nope. An aeroplane black box from Chris in Sompting, which is always orange apparently. No, it is not. Milk from Laura in Woking. A pillar box from Faith in Dibton. No. A post box from Selzy Jill. Hiya, Selzy Jill. Anne Marie in Littlemore in Oxford says number 3 could be a Bichon Frise. Believe me, they're not always one colour. Mine are frequently black, covered in mud. Alan from Canterbury's been a bit clever here. He says, could it be a Ford car? Because Mr. Ford always said, you can have any colour you like, as long as it's black.
I want to talk to you.
New single soon. Mika and Grace Kelly. 28 minutes to 11. Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the South. We're around the world at bbc.co.uk. Talking of which, I must say hello to Ian McPherson, who's just dropped me an email. He says, Paul, just thought I'd email you to ask you if you could please say hello to me. Always listen to the programme. Online up here in Oban, in the west coast of Scotland. Always tune in at night. I do enjoy the programme. Ian, nice to hear from you. Thanks indeed for your email. It's always nice to hear from people regardless of where they are. And I've also got to say hello to Hilary as well. Hilary Benson. Hello, Hilary. She's in Oxford celebrating 50th birthday today. Happy birthday. Lots of love from husband William. And not forgetting the 2 dogs. Listen to this for dogs' names. Tom and Jerry. I mean, can you... Can dogs be called Tom and Jerry? Of course they can. Of course they can. Very happy birthday to you, my love. And I hope that you've had a good one. Right, let's get back to this competition then. See if we can get some right answers. We've got number 2 sorted out. That was the mystery song. We now know that is Love Is All Around by Wet, Wet, Wet. And of course, the clue that you get from that leads you ultimately to this object we're looking for tonight. The clue can be in the title or it could be in the artist, okay? So keep a bit of an open mind with that one. Number 3 is interesting because it's a what am I? I'm only found in one colour. So we're looking for something that you only find in one colour. What's it going to be, though? Let's go to Starrington, speak to Marion. Hello, Marion.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You've had a nice day?
Yes, lovely, thank you.
Taking it easy?
No. Gardening.
You as well?
Yes.
I think everybody was gardening today.
Yeah.
It was a good day for it, wasn't it?
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I think that if you get the gardening sorted out and get it done, you can then enjoy the garden for the rest of the week.
Oh, I did. And later on, I had my cup of tea out there and enjoyed it.
Very nice too. Very
Yeah.
nice too. So which one are you going to have a go on on this competition, my love?
I'm going for 3.
I'm only found in one colour.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think blood.
Blood.
Unless you're royal and then it's blue, of course.
I don't know. I know a few people with black blood, I think. Charlie from Eastleigh agrees with you. Dee in Gillingham, Joan in Elsham, and also the Paris Flyer in Dover has gone for blood as well. It's a good guess. Could it be? No, it is not the
dear.
one. Sorry, Marion.
Okay.
Another one out the way, though, my love, and nice to speak to you.
Yes, and you, Paul.
You take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye now, bye-bye. Marion from Starrington, very popular guest, blood, but no. Sheila in Chichester. Hello, Sheila.
Hello.
How are you?
All right, thank you.
Good. So you're going for number 3 as well?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think it's a snowball.
Snow or a snowball, which of course is white.
Mhm.
Hopefully, anyway. Popular guess. Monica, who is in Oxford, agrees with you. Juliet in Hythe. And also Martin in Brighton. Are you feeling confident, Sheila?
A little bit.
Sadly, no, it's wrong.
Oh, dear.
It's not the one.
Well, not to
Never mind, not to worry. What have you got planned for the rest of the week? Anything exciting?
Not really. I'm retired, but
Mm-hmm.
I do things for the church. So all
So-
depends on what comes up.
So you've got plenty to keep you occupied anyway.
Oh, yes.
Good. Well, do whatever, enjoy the weather, and thanks for your call.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
You take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Sheila from Chichester with the snow. Or a couple of other snows, by the way. Keith in Woking has just come through with a snowball. Very similar. Plenty of Advocar in there, please. And also Michael, who is on the M25, says, "Hi, Paul. Happy Easter. I think you're looking for snow. It is not snow." Just gone 25 to 11. We'll speak to Jan in Strood. Hi, Jan.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
Oh, not too bad. You know.
Good. Everyone's in good spirits this evening. Have you noticed?
Oh, yeah, fine.
Which is good.
Oh, yes, can't be better. No, I did ring in with a, for number 3. I thought
Yeah.
it was cool, but obviously it isn't because you've said no.
Oh.
So that's that out of the window.
It was cold and it's not.
No, it isn't. I haven't thought of anything. Well, I did think of blood as well, but there
We
you
know
go.
it isn't that as well.
It isn't. No, that's no.
I mean, I think
Anyway.
people are thinking to themselves, well, how many things can possibly be just one
One
colour?
colour, yes.
You know, it's,
It'd be interesting to find out the answer.
It's a very interesting one, I will tell you. And I think when you find out what the answer is, a few people will say, "Oh, no!"
Yeah, couldn't be more obvious. Have you still got that mint and horseradish rub?
Well, it was one of my my top sellers last year, you may remember.
It was.
I think I may still have some left in the bottom of the cupboard. Why are you in need of a little massage?
Well, the last time I rang, that's what you suggested.
And did it work?
Oh,
Did it work?
it's marvellous.
Ah, you see.
Marvellous.
People laugh at my oils and my rubs, Jan, but I've
Oh,
got something for everything in there,
There
you
you
know.
go. There you
yeah.
go.
All these ailments the doctor can't cure, I can.
I know. It's lovely.
Rub in the old goodness and away you go. Sorry it was the wrong answer,
That's all right, my love.
but nice to speak to you, Jan.
And to you.
You take care.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now, bye-bye. Jan in Strood with a coal. No. Few people going for what the overall answer could be as well. Peggy from the Isle of Wight says, could it be a newspaper? Nope. Muriel from Gillingham says maybe an umbrella. Nope. There used to be a saying about an umbrella when I was at school. What'll go up a drain pipe down but won't go down a drain pipe up, which is an umbrella. Think about it. It's true. It works. Yeah. Remember that from school back in the Stone Age? Funny how you remember things like that. I remember all sorts of funny things. Anne from Ringwood says, could it be tissues? No, it is not. Some more coming through for number 3. Wendy from Farnborough says, could it be rain or water? Nope. Could it be, John from Paul says, English colour and American colour? No. Water or the sea from Ben in Maidstone? Nope. We've got a phone box from Paige in Reading. Sadly, it is not. Ice from Sybil in Crawley. How about those double yellow lines on the side of the road, says Michelle? No. A couple of people gone for fire engine here. Monique from Milford-on-Sea has gone for grass. That's not always one colour. Mine's brown. More umbrellas for the final answer coming through from Faith in Dibdom. We've got the moon from Sandra in Horsham for number 3. Hiya, Sandra. Hope that you are well. The sea also from Elaine, who's listening in Hertfordshire. The sun from Sandra in Dover. No, it is not. An orange from Monique. It is not an orange, as we discovered a little while ago. A white line from Nora in Bittern Park. These all coming through on the text. We've got Chrissy from Oxford with Orville the Duck, which is always green. You're very close to my frying pan. Very, very close. Be very, very scared. And Wayne from Hove says, Paul, could number 3 be a ruby? It is not a ruby. No, it isn't. I'm trying to think if I can give any clues. I think I can really. That wouldn't give the game away. Tim from Bournemouth says blood. We now know that he isn't. The overall answer, Andy from Everton has gone for an umbrella. A lot of people going for that. I wonder where the umbrellas come from. Oh, well, love is all around. Wet. Well, wet. I think that's what Neil just said. So it goes, oh, wet rain umbrella. Oh, I see. No, it's not. Tony in Bognor says, could number 3 be a banana? Nope, 'cause they can be green, can't they, when they're not ripe, and they can be brown when they're overripe. Cole from Mr. Nobody. The overall answer, says Paul and Babs on the Isle of Wight, a raincoat? No, it is not. And Shaz from Canterbury says, could the object that is one colour be a love heart? Again, it is not. And June from Fareham says, I think you're going for a runner bean. No. No. Do you think you know what it is? And overall, what is the answer? If we can get 1 or 3 sorted, I think suddenly, just like that, it'll come together. 3 beacon shops. See if you can sort out that anagram, okay? Just unscramble the letters to give you a person, a place, a phrase, an expression, or something like that. 3 beacon shops. THREE, beacon, BEACON, and shops as in last-minute bargains, final reductions, and all the rest of it. SHOPS. 3 beacon shops. I'll give you a clue. It's an expression, it's something that people say, and there are 4 words to it. And number 3, I'm only found in one colour. What on earth is that number 3? No clues, though.
Call BBC Radio Kent 08459 811111.
That text 07786 200 961. Email Paul Muller Show, that's all one word, paulmullershow@bbc.co.uk. Couple of quickies on the text. Jackie from Fareham says, Paul, number 3, a white lie? No. John from Maidstone says maybe it's silver? Nope. Dave in Broadstairs with a wedding dress? Nope. Joe in Bournemouth with a rainbow. Just rearrange the words, you'll get there. And Nora from Bitterne Park says, could it be an egg white? Again, no. There's mentioned yet. Something that is always basically the same colour. Elton John and I'm still standing, but only just. You don't want to know what we're laughing at, believe me. Well, I know you do, but I'm not going to tell you. But it was funny. Don't worry, Neil didn't take his clothes off. It's not that funny. 11:15, Paul Muller Show from the BBC in the South. The anagram, 3 beacon shops. What does that give you? Goodness only knows. And number 3, I'm only found in one colour. It's an object, but what? Gillian from Oxford says, Paul, I think it's going to be sand. It is not. No. We've also got, it's an interesting one. Orange squash from Keith in Woking. Nope. Ice from Paige in Reading. Nope. Red carpet from Nora in Bitterne Park. Could the overall answer be sunglasses? Says Ronnie in Brighton. I've got Randra in Havant, who I think is probably Sandra in Havant, thinks number 3 could be grass. But as I said, if you've seen mine, which are brown, you'd know that it isn't. Michelle from Weymouth has gone for milk, number 3. An orange from Brenda in Buckland. Hello, Brenda. Nice to hear from you. Rosie from Barton with a wedding dress. John in Shoeburyness with an orange as well. On a white lie from Chris in Ryde. Got to get a right answer here. Mark's in Ferndown. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Paul.
How are you?
Very well. How are you?
Very well, as always. Just getting myself ready for the summer. Are you feeling in summery mood now after a couple of nice days?
Yes, it's been lovely.
What have you got planned for the rest of the week? Are you working, studying?
No,
or?
I'm currently relaxing because I work at Bournemouth Uni.
Oh, I see. So it's feet up.
Yeah.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done. When do you go back?
I've got one day for a special event and then go back on the 23rd.
Oh, you've got quite some time off then, yet.
Yeah.
Oh, to be enjoyed. Very. I can see I could do one of those jobs. And how long will you be off for in the summer? Do you get this summer vacation as well?
Yes.
So the 8 weeks or whatever it is in a college?
Yes, I get the same as the students.
Mm-hmm.
Which mean I should break up about June and then go back in the end of September.
Very nice too. Very nice too.
Yeah.
I've got a cousin who's a teacher, and I say to her, she's often moaning about the job. I say, why don't you do something else? She says, the holidays.
I know.
At least she's honest.
Thinking of going to no job, the benefits is the long holidays.
Absolutely.
Obviously, the money's not real because you get paid for doing nothing. But it does have its advantages.
Yeah, like every job. Yeah, there's good and bad for everything, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course there is. Well, Mark, it's nice to have you there. Nice to speak to you. I'm really keeping everything crossed here. We're going to get some right answers, because I would love to give one of my bugs away tonight. You're going for number 3.
Yeah.
What do you think the answer is? I'm only found in one colour.
Coal.
Coal?
Yeah.
As in, let's take a
As
bit
in
more
coal.
coal on finance. It's getting a bit cold in here. Coal is good.
But,
Coal is wrong.
oh.
But not to worry.
Oh,
Not to
well.
worry.
Never
Enjoy
mind.
the rest of your holiday.
Thank you, Paul.
And nice to speak to you. Thanks for your call.
Right, happy Easter.
And to you. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Marking phone down. All right for some, eh? All those holidays. Cool. Joe in North End. Hi, Joe.
Hello, Paul.
You all right?
Yeah, you?
Very well indeed. You're on holiday at the moment?
Yeah, I'm permanent.
Permanent holiday.
Yeah.
Even nicer. But I'm sure you got plenty to keep you occupied.
Oh, yeah, plenty.
Yeah, it's always the way. So which one are we going for? This number 3 again?
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Skin.
Skin.
Yeah.
Skin. Skin, you get more than one colour though, don't you?
Yeah, but it's only on one colour on one person, isn't
Oh,
it?
I see what you mean. Right. Now, that's clever. No, that's clever.
But it's wrong.
It's still wrong, yeah. It's still wrong. It's wrong, but, no, I was going to say, could I find a connection with the right answer? But I don't think I can really, no. No, it's wrong.
Okay.
Not to worry, Joe.
All right, then.
You take care.
And you.
Bye-bye now, bye-bye.
Bye.
No. John in Bracknell. Hello, John.
Hello, Paul.
How you doing?
I'm all right, mate.
How is Bracknell this evening? The sun is shining.
Well, it was today, yes,
It
but I've
was.
been working today, so...
I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one keeping the old fires burning.
Yes.
What do you do to be working on a bank holiday?
Work for Waitrose.
Oh.
Delivery driver for Waitrose.
And, of course, that never stops, does it?
It doesn't, no.
It's an ongoing thing, because people will be expecting their goodies first thing in the morning.
They certainly will.
All the fresh milk and all the rest of it. Do you think there'll be some Easter eggs up for grabs, half price, as of tomorrow?
Probably, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, you never know your luck, do you?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe it would be worth setting the old alarm, and getting outside the supermarket nice and early. Get those bargains. Be good. I like the sound of that. Yeah,
Yeah,
nice too.
why not?
Why not? John, you're also going for number 3. What do you think it is?
I think it's a blackboard.
Blackboard. A couple of other people gone for a blackboard. Joyce has gone for a blackboard. The Flash Penny in the shed has also gone for a blackboard, and so has Peter, who is in Winchester. Wrong, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, never mind.
Not to worry. It's nice to speak to you anyway.
Okay, then, Paul.
You working tomorrow as well, John? Have you got tomorrow
No,
off?
I've got the rest of the week off.
Oh, you enjoy it then. Put your feet up.
I'm having the rest of the week off because my son's wife's due to have a baby any time.
Oh, brilliant. Well, hope it all goes well. We're all wishing for her and thinking of her.
Right.
Fingers
Okay,
crossed.
then.
Take care.
Okay, then.
Bye-bye
Bye.
now. Bye-bye. John from Bracknell with a blackboard. No. Could it be envy or jealousy, says Stephen Crawley? Green with envy or whatever it is? No. Alan and Guadalupe from Spain. I hope I pronounced that right night after night. I think it could be gold that we're looking for. I think our weather's been nicer than yours, actually, over here today. I think they said the weather was nicer than Spain over here. It's been very warm. Let me see. A few more for number 3. Becky from Chandler's Ford says, could it be Guinness? No. It's 2 colours, really, isn't it? Black and white, I suppose. Unless you don't pour it properly. Mo from Portsmouth has got water. Rita from Westergate. Hiya, Rita. Avocado? No. Geraldine Kent has gone for water as well. Shirley from Hastings, a globe maybe, because, blue and seas and oceans and what have you. No, not the one. Alison from Bexhill says a wedding ring. No. For the overall answer you're probably going for there, thinking of that tune being used as for 3 weddings and a funeral or whatever it was, is wrong. A carrot from Sybil in Crawley for number 3. The iris of your eye from Chris in Havant. No. Carrot from Wayne in Hove. Andy from Valley Park. Hi, Andy. It's gone for the sun. Soot from Joan in Leon Solent. Silver from Faith in Dibden. No. We're just not going to get anywhere near. This number 3, this What Am I? I'm only found in one colour. It's hard to, if I was to give you a clue, it would be so obvious. Let me just say that it's big, number 3. It's big. Well, Well, most of the time anyway. I mean, it's not when it starts out, but it gets bigger as life goes on. In other words, it's alive. So what could it be that lives, gets very, very big? Put it this way, you would not argue with this, okay? Even if it was baby, you probably wouldn't argue with it. It gets very big. And sometimes they get so big that they can become dangerous, okay? That's how big it is. Does that help? It's one colour. Always the same colour. Slight variations, obviously, but basically it is the same colour. So it lives, and it's big. Big, big. Last chance to get through. Last chance. Couple of guesses for the actual overall answer. Bren from Clapham says, Paul, could it be a wooden leg you're looking for? No. Julian Didcot with the umbrella. Also Peter in Worthing with the umbrella as well. Nope, 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 nope. Elaine in Hertfordshire said, I thought there could have been a person in your taxi tonight, and it could have been Duncan James. Nope, it's a thing tonight rather than a person. Maudine Hove's gone for the brolly as well. Martin and Caroline from Newhaw says, could it be a cue ball in the game of pool? And the final answer could be a globe. I like the way you've worked it out, but no, that is not the one that we're looking for at all. A passport cover for number 3, says Tim in Bournemouth. We've also got brown toast from Tony in Shoreham. I think now we know what I've given you a clue. It might make life a little bit easier. A white whale has come through. No. Jackie in Fareham with a polar bear. No. Black hole from John in Poole. We got a right answer. Okay. We've got a right answer for number 3. Okay. We've got a right one. Wayne from Hove has come up with the right answer. Sandra from Dover's got the right answer. Keith from Woking has got the right answer as well. And also Rosie in Barton has got the right answer too. And Helen in Romsey. So we'll close the lines on that one now. We have, for number 3, an elephant. So we've got an elephant. I'm only found in one colour. Okay, elephants are always that grey colour. So what could the overall thing be? If I don't get a right answer on the text in about 2 minutes, then I'll declare myself as the winner and I'll go home wagging my tail. So we've got wet, 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 love is all around, and an elephant, which should lead you, should I say, to an object, an item, or a thing of some description. Do you know what that thing could be? Of course, there's still number 1, the anagram, but I don't think we'll get that out now. I think it's far too late for that. The anagram, though, in case you have been playing around with it, is 3 beacon shops. So let's look at these two clues. Love is all around by Wet, Wet, Wet. And as always, the clue can be in the title or it may be in the artist, or it could be both. Okay, so you need to keep a bit of an open mind with that one. And then for number 3, we now know the answer is an elephant. So what is the overall object that we're looking for? Number 2 and number 3, those answers relate or link to that thing. Any idea? Text 07786 200 961. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to see if we get a right answer. Oh, right. That'll be the end of that then. Queen and We Will Rock You. 2 minutes to 11. I was just basking in the glory here of all the answers coming through. I can tell you we have got a right answer. We have got a right answer for the overall answer, okay? The ones that are wrong, Jackie from Folkestone with suitcase. We've also got a birthday or an anniversary, because apparently elephants never forget things. Sally from Oxford, that's clever. We've also got a telephone. It's come through from a couple of people. Nope, it is not a telephone. We've also got a nose from Oliver in Sunbury. Pink elephant from Keith in Woking, and also sunflowers from Alison in Maidstone. Closing the phone lines now because we do have a right answer, and I think when I tell you what the answer to number 1 is, the anagram, suddenly it will all come together. 3 beacon shops. If you look at that anagram and you unscramble it, it gives you a little expression, and the expression is posers on the beach. Posers on the beach. So we've got posers on the beach, we've got love is all around by Wet, 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 and we've got an elephant. don't. No, don't go there. That's not nice. So, let's think what we need here. Well, for number 2, the song, you can get rid of the title. There's no love and there's nothing going round. So, Poses on the Beach, Wet, 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 an Elephant. Well, if you're on the beach, I suppose you sometimes do get wet, don't you? If you go into the sea, that is, and you come out with something obnoxious hanging from you, probably, especially if it's the sea around this country. So, what's the connection with an elephant, for goodness sake? Well, what's an elephant got that's very, very obvious? Apart from big flappy ears and what have you. It's got a trunk. Ah. Elaine from Hertfordshire has worked out what it is straight through on the text as we came up with the answer to number 3. The answer is swimming trunks. You got Poses on the Beach. They're wearing their swimming trunks. You got Wet, 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 because obviously they are wet. And when you get wet on the beach, you've got into the water. What do you wear? You wear the swimming trunks. And, of course, that is where the elephant bit comes in, because an elephant has a trunk. Brilliant. Elaine from Hertfordshire, if you can send me through another text with your address, we'll get the old bug in the post ASAP. And a couple of other right ones as well. We've got swimming trunks come through from Barry, who is in Holloway. Also to Adrian, who is in Eastbourne. Samantha in Tunbridge Wells. And there was one more as well, and I can't think where it's gone. Oh, yes, it's one here from Robert, who is in Southampton. But only one winner, as always. Well done to you, Elaine. And don't forget, we'll do it all again tomorrow. Good. Thanks, by the way, to everybody who got through. And if we didn't get a chance to get back to you, especially on the text, don't worry. As I say, do it again, same time tomorrow. OK, time just gone, 11 o'clock.
Across the county and around the world.
The 11 Ramsey is the most admired man, and Pete Doherty is the least admired man, according to a survey.
Hey, I've missed those over the last couple of days.
Oh, we've got 2 corkers today.
I missed my surveys.
Professor Stephen Hawking, TV survival expert Ray Mears, Bond star Daniel Craig, and comedy star Ricky Gervais also feature strongly in the survey of figures that British men most respect.
Oh.
The survey for the men's magazine also revealed that Scarlett Johansson is the woman that the majority want to bed, have dinner with and marry.
In that order?
Well, I was going to say that order. That's going on one day, isn't it? On a first date.
Yeah, not bad, is it?
Almost half the parties. I have written in that order as well.
Yeah, I thought I'd get in there first.
Almost half the participants were more concerned about global warming than the threat of terrorism or the state of the economy.
That's interesting.
And whilst football is their favourite sport, more men fantasise about having a #1 album than they do about playing in an FA Cup final.
Well, you know. I'm still working on the final touches of mine, you know.
The final touches?
Yeah, we're getting there. I've just got a few little bits and pieces to do to finish it, like, you know, record the songs. And it's going to be good, my new album. Yeah, I was talking to my agent the other day about the album cover, not quite sure what to put on it.
Oh, I've got an idea.
Yeah, you probably have. I thought about maybe, you know, an apple.
That's been done.
Yeah, I know, that's what I thought. But, you know, I thought it would be quite good because people would see it and say, cool, what an album, you know. And I was thinking it would be clever with the apple and the core. And then I realised that some other group have done that, apparently, so we won't be going there. So I don't know. I don't know what to put on the front. I'm still thinking.
Maybe another fruit?
I don't know.
An orange?
Oh, no.
A pear?
No, I don't want a pear on the
front. An apple? No, we said an apple. Grapes?
Yeah, grapes could be quite nice. Yeah, grapes. No, that comes up nasty.
Because it drives you to drink.
Oh, and also, you know, you look at grapes and no. I don't know. I'm thinking of something. I'll get there, don't worry. It'll be something spectacular and special. It will be, definitely.
What about just black?
No, that's been done as well.
Just white?
That's been done as well.
Oh, don't tell me, by the same group.
Probably. All this imagination was rife, wasn't it, in the good old days? But talking of which,
what about a play on a classic album? How about the Light Side of the Moon?
How dare you? That is so undermining my new album. How dare you?
What about Paul Miller? Plagiarism is alive and well?
No, you're only jealous. No. I'm definitely going to picture your legs on there either.
Oh, now I heard that you were talking about them on Friday.
I did not say a word. Would I ever mention your twigs on this programme when you're not around?
I was holed up in a nightclub on Friday.
Serves you right.
unable to check out, and I heard my
You should have had your
spies
little
were telling
earpiece
me.
in, you know.
My spy... Well,
Tuned in.
I wish I had it on. Wasn't a great night, but...
Not surprised with you there. Go on, you were saying.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
You're on about Friday night. You had these people lying to you that I had been talking about your legs on this programme, which I would never do.
Apparently, I've had another idea for an album title.
Oh, yeah, go on.
What about Oasis did Definitely Maybe?
They did.
Were you Paul Miller Definitely Not?
Oh, this is asking for trouble. It really is, isn't it? This is asking. It's just jealousy. Maybe we need something simple. Maybe just a white cover with a musical note. That'd be quite good, wouldn't it, you know?
Bum note.
No. I can just see there my little crotchet hanging on the stave. It would be, you would see it for miles, and people would say, it depicts music.
Blondie did parallel lines. You could do one wonky line.
No, I'm not doing wonky lines at all. You're just jealous. I don't hear no more about it. Thank you very much. None at all. Talking of wonky lines and parallel lines.
Aha did Hunting High and Low. You could do Lost It.
Jealousy is a terrible thing, you know. Jealousy is a terrible thing. It really is. How do you fancy going back to the 70s?
You imply that I've already been there, and of course, as you know, I haven't.
Oh, you liar. I mean, I'm not going to mix my words here. A terrible liar. He will not accept the fact that he's at least 15 years older than me. And it just hurts me so much.
Of all the people that work on this show, you have
there are only two of us.
Well, I mean, it's Friday, so there's
on Uncle
Matty,
Matt.
Uncle Matt on a Friday, or sometimes Lena.
Yeah.
Rose the other week.
I think Lena's older than me. Yeah, she is, yes.
And Bex.
Yeah, she's younger than me.
You're the oldest out of all of them. Even Shanghai.
But Shanghai's 170.
My point exactly.
Pig. Right. You know this, I'm just going to ignore it. Just take no notice at all.
70s rocked.
It certainly did, according to the history books that I read when I was at school. Well, you know this Life on Mars is coming to an end. It's been a huge success.
There've been some fabulous lines in there, some great props as well.
It's been done very well.
It has
been
been
very
done
well.
Brilliantly.
Every now and again, you get a program. Usually it's a program on the television. Sometimes it can be an iconic film. It depends. But on this occasion, it's a program on the telly that just... People really like, what are you laughing at? You've had another thought about my flipping out, haven't you?
No, just you mentioned Life on Mars, and I've just remembered a brilliant one-liner that was in it last week.
Is it broadcastable?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. It's one of the ones that was broadcastable.
Oh, go on, then.
He says, he said, you're looking more worried than a very short nun in penguin hunting season.
I refuse to comment. I refuse to comment in case any of my sisters are listening. A lot of them do, you know. They've made quite a habit of it over the years. But apparently notice I'm just ignoring it. I'm just ignoring it.
And you notice I ignored the gag as well?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, me too. I'm just carrying on. Page 2. Life on Mars has been incredibly successful.
Yes,
it comes to an end tomorrow.
Yes,
and because it's been successful, I doubt if they'll make another one. Because, you can't have, successful program. Maybe it wouldn't work another series, you see. That sometimes can be the case.
I mean, they have already said that they're not going to do another one.
That's right.
And I mean, say Fawlty Towers was only 2 series, and it's made them become classics.
Maybe that old Ford car wouldn't do a 3rd series.
Well, they've sold it now, haven't they?
Yeah, it's gone. That's probably why, But apparently it's had 2 effects. One, people have loved it. It's done very, very well in the ratings, and no surprise, it has been done incredibly well. And I love the person who used the imagination to actually, depict it as an old 1970s programme with the BBC colour and the blue sort of wash and what have you, which, as people would know, BBC One was like that back in the 70s for a while. That's what they did. But what it's also done is recreate this interest in the 70s, and this comes up every so often. You find that the 70s is that sort of forgotten era, because even though people talk about it, it's usually only one thing they talk about, and that is the music. I think quite often the music, you still hear a lot of it now. But apparently, as a result of this, there is renewed interest in things, and of course the marketeers are thinking, right, we can sell some products as a result of
Ka-ching.
this. Ka-ching, yeah, literally. Spam apparently is going to be re-advertised. Yeah, It's still a big seller. They're going to re-advertise it.
Well, of course, Spamalot is running in the West End, and they're going to set a world record tonight. Is it tonight or tomorrow night?
Oh, I don't know about things like that.
Yeah, because it's the Clipsy Clops with the...
The what?
The Clipsy Clop, with the
Can't you
horse...
get cream for that?
Where the horses go running, and they've got the coconut shells.
Oh, yes.
And there's a theatre in New York holds the world record for the most Clipsy Clops, and Spamalot are going to try and beat it. It's either tonight or tomorrow.
I'm sure we'll be able to find out. Yeah, we'll be able to find out. Would you believe Cinzano is going to be advertised again very shortly?
Was that the one that Leonard Rossiter used to advertise?
Was that the Cinzano? Yes, and the other one
was that Cinzano.
Yes, and the Martini was Anytime, Any Place, Anywhere.
That's right.
I remember which one it was. They were both awful things to get drunk on, as I can speak from experience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one for my 18th, one for my 21st. I remember both. But no, you're going to see Cinzano is going to be advertised again. There's interest in it. So we're just wondering, I mean, we've spoken many times in the past about the 1970s, and as we have about the 60s and all the rest of it. But I'm asking you a very specific question here. If you could bring something back from the 1970s, what would it be? Now, I'm not asking you what you remember from the 70s, because, you know, people who are as old as Neil and younger will, of course, remember all sorts of things. So I'm just asking you if there was something that you could bring back, and, listen, there's conditions here, you would use. Because the fashioneers, as I'm calling, that's probably not a word, but it is tonight. The fashioneers are going to bring back these things and try and get people back into that 70s fashion. Now, if curly perms for men come back, you know, you and I couldn't have one anyway, because, you know, you need hair for that.
Well, what from the 70s would you reuse?
I mean, I must be honest, the Cinzano and the Martini thing, I quite liked that, I must admit. That was quite nice.
So it's consumables as well?
Consumables as well, yeah. Mellow Bird's coffee. I've searched the length and breadth to try and get hold of that. You can't get it anywhere. It's all gone.
I used to love those hair dryers that came with a hose at the bag.
Did you ever have use for one? Did you?
I remember Mum using one.
Yeah, I bet. They were cool, they were. They were very,
Chopper
very
bikes
good.
came back.
Well, yeah, a few years ago they made a comeback, and there were people who said, these are really cool. Yet, of course, we remember them.
They were nothing like them. They were nothing like the originals.
Wasn't quite the same, was it? No, the seat and what have you was different.
No.
Apparently health and safety got involved.
They got to move the gear stickers around and stuff.
Rubbish, nonsense. But what colour was your chopper?
Oh, don't ask me about colours.
What colour do you think it was? Did anybody ever tell you?
Red, probably.
Did you think it was red, or were you told it was red? Because that could be blue, black, or anything.
No, I know the difference between red and blue. I'm an electrician, you know.
Yeah, I know. We know you are. Hence you're doing this job. The poor fire brigade. The fire brigade never had 5 minutes apiece. All these buildings going up in smoke. So what colour did you think it was?
I think it was red.
You think it was red?
I think it was red. I did have a... Yeah, we had a chopper.
Right. Well, I had a chipper to start with. That was sort of like an orangey colour.
Was that the small one?
That was the small one.
You couldn't get your leg over the chopper?
No, it was nothing to do with legs going over anywhere. And then I had the chopper, and the chopper was silver.
Right.
I never chose the colour, as I've told people for many years. And my gear lever was red.
Oh, no, I can't remember that far back.
Well, you wouldn't, would you? No. You're so much older than me. So the chopper, would you ride one again, though? See, it's the handlebars.
They were uncomfortable,
it does
weren't
look
they?
A bit, yeah,
and I don't think I'd see the tassels on the end of the handlebars.
Yeah, were a bit much. And I had murders trying to get stabilisers.
I was going to say, well. You can't go around the corner with the stabilisers.
No, you could never get them to fit. That was a disaster. But if you were, I mean, I'm trying to think of fashion, joking aside, because...
Well, see, I worked in a 70s club, as you know.
Yeah,
but
up
you
see,
quite recently.
But it's tongue-in-cheek, isn't it? Those people would not walk along the street like it.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, but going to and from... I mean, those perms. I mean, you know, my mum had one of those curly perms.
It was corduroy, wasn't it? Corduroy jackets with the patches on the...
Yeah, that was quite comfortable, actually. That was quite nice. I had one of those in a brown colour. You should wear it to school,
They were very dowdy colours, weren't they?
Yeah, well, everything was brown and orange and green and purple, wasn't it, basically? The clothes, I mean, certainly on the platform shoes, they were the pits. My father had these Manhattan high-risers that you would not be seen dead in.
Got a pair like that.
Oh, they were awful.
Every so often when I go back to that club, I wear... I'll have to bring them in one night and show you.
No, I don't want to see them.
They are Elvin Stardust boots.
See, I thought they were good because they gave me a bit of height. But, of course, they gave everybody else some height as well. So everybody was still stuck up in the gods. So, no, I don't know. I mean, the...
Rubik Cubes.
No, I couldn't do that.
Oh, you just peel the stickers off and put them
back
on.
Yeah, I know.
I tried.
I demolished mine and got a smack bottom because it was expensive. So I won't be doing that again. I've got this picture of this hand coming out the Rubik's Cube and it's going back in again, you know. Don't do it again. The wrath of my mother on me. Do you know how much that cost? She tried to strangle me with Slinky, but that's another story. So if you were to have one thing back from the 1970s, what would it be? And remember, it's got to be something that you would actually use again, okay? So I suppose another way of asking the question is, what was there around in the 70s that you couldn't get away with now, but you wish you could because you liked it?
Guilty pleasure.
It is the guilty, but we're not talking about the music either, okay, particularly. We're talking about the fashions, the decor. It could even be a car.
An Elepre.
An
Two cars.
You're going to do the weather, I think.
A clear night followed by allowing a few mist or fog patches to form in places. Light westerly winds knocking around. Minimum overnight lows 6 Celsius, 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Mainly dry tomorrow, but rather cloudy at times with some bright or sunny spells. Feeling warm in light winds. Maximum temperatures 19 Celsius, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Looking ahead to Wednesday, dry with some pleasantly warm sunshine by day, but the risk of overnight fog patches.
I have just had my whole life changed in 1 second.
Oh, really?
Pat from East Wittering has told me Tesco sell mellow birds.
Oh,
It is still available.
You were just too lazy to go looking for it. You thought, I know I'll ask the ladies and gentlemen.
It was probably on the top shelf, actually.
Paul Miller on BBC Radio Kent.
Cheers, Neil. He's off with the legs. So we're asking you then, if it were to come back, and there's this renewed interest again because of this television programme, Life on Mars, what would be the thing that you would like to come back and that you would actually use? And as I say, it can be a product, it can be something that you wear, it can be a car, it can be anything. We're not talking about music, though, and we're not just saying, you know, what do you remember from the 70s? We've done that many, many times in the past. But do you think that these style gurus, these fashion icons, are going to actually achieve it? There was a bit of a 70s revival about 4 years ago, but it didn't quite take off.
Call BBC Radio Kent 08459 811111.
Got some good ones coming through already. Text 07786 200 961 and the email paulmillershow@bbc.co.uk. And as I say, we're not talking about the music as such, but there were some mighty fine songs around as well. Never understood how form shoes and disco went together, though. I mean, if you ask me, you're definitely asking for trouble. Night Fever. Reliving those 1970s, oh yes. We're asking you tonight then what you would actually use again, what you would like to come back from the 70s. This is absolutely true, this story. It's a great story that Life on Mars has been so successful that it's generated a lot of interest in the 1970s again. And what I would like to hear is if you're someone who is, say, I don't know, under the age of 30, so therefore you wouldn't remember the 70s at all, what do you see as the 70s being like? Is there something about the 70s that you think was really cool, was really good, and you would like to experience it? That'll be quite interesting, because I know that a lot of young people have also been saying that they're quite keen to pick up on some of these old 70s fashions. So what is it going to be? I want to know. Some good suggestions coming through as to what would be coming back. Lovely one from Ronnie, who says, Paul, there's a couple of things. Well, first of all, Dream Topping, because I loved it. I think you can still buy that, can't you? That you can actually still buy. And also the hot pants as well, because I thought they were good. Yeah, but would they look a bit daft now? Not sure. They might do. I suppose if everybody else did that, it will be okay. And a lovely one from Lani, who's listening online in Seattle, says, Paul, I want my figure back from the 1970s, please. I think a lot of people probably go along with that one as well. Yeah, absolutely. And also a lovely one that's come through from Chrissy in Oxford, who says, I would like those ceiling lights that you could raise and lower. You know, the ones that used to go up and down. Yeah, we used to have one of those above the dining room table. Did you have one as well, Neil? And like a little handle inside. And I can remember when my father was putting it up, my mum said, make sure you do that properly. Otherwise, when I pull it down, it'll come down and pull the ceiling down. And he said, I'll put it up as I usually do. That's what worries me, she said. Make sure you do it properly. But it was good. You'd literally just pull it down and the light would come down closer to the table. And then you could just sort of push it up. And do you remember the lights used to go up and down? Yeah, well, good they were. Bring them back. I think we could do that. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, why not? And Terry from Deal says, what about Vesta curries? Because I thought they were absolutely lovely, even though people said they were horrible. They used to come in that sort of yellow box. I've got a feeling you might still be able to buy something very similar, actually. Let's go to Sonny and speak to Caroline. Hi, Caroline.
Hiya,
How you
Paul.
doing?
Clackers.
You're what? Your crackers?
Clackers.
You
remember those clackers?
Oh, you mean the things that were on like the two ball things on a bit of string?
Absolutely. Lost mine up a tree.
With a little ring in the middle.
Yeah,
and
that's
you could
right.
and you used to move them up and down. They used to knock, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. You said, and you were, you used to be judged at
Yes.
schools. How clever you were.
How
at
good you
doing
were.
them.
And if you were very good, Caroline, you could get them to hit together at the bottom, then go right the way up and hit at the top
Absolutely.
again.
Yeah.
So how did you lose your clackers up a tree?
Well, no, it's a huge, great big tree at the bottom of the garden, and I was clackering. And
Yeah, as you do.
just
Is
lost-
that an official word, clackering, or is it a Caroline word?
I think it should be in the Oxford Dictionary.
Yeah, I think it should as well. I love it.
It's clackering.
Yeah.
But clackers, because kids don't know what clackers are.
What were they actually called? Were they called clackers, those things?
Yeah, they were called clackers.
I'm just wondering what they were, if that's what they were called or not.
I don't know, actually. I can't be absolutely sure about that.
I think they probably were, but I just can't imagine going into my local shop and asking the lady for clackers. Do you know what I mean? It just,
You'd probably be shown the door.
You probably would. There was a little shop next to my school that used to sell sweeties and things, and I had some clackers. Mine were green.
Yeah, oh, right.
I'd sort of luminous green ones. I've got a feeling they may have been luminous as well if you turn the light
if you
off.
went into your shop now, being politically correct, if you ask for Mojos or Blackjacks, it's politically...
But you still get blackjacks, don't you? Or don't?
Can
Or do
you?
you not? I think so. Yeah, fruit juice. What do they used to call them? Fruit salad. That's it.
Fruit salad.
Fruit salad and blackjacks. I think are still available.
Are they?
Yeah.
I know they are at one shop on the internet. All sorts of... You can get apparently every sweet there is.
Oh yeah, unless of course they've changed the name to something else, Dark Jacks, or something like. No, I think they're still called blackjacks.
Well, anyhow, get your clackers out.
So you think the clackers should be back?
Yeah.
Right, Caroline,
Get the clackers back.
The clackers have got a vote. Thanks for your call.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye now. Bye bye. There's Caroline from. So were they really called clackers? I'm not saying for one moment that Caroline is wrong, but I just can't remember what they were called. But my goodness, they used to do your knuckles in. You go very, very gently with a little bit of string, and they'll start going knock, 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 knock. And then when you got it to the right level, they would go to the top and hit, then come back down again. And if you didn't get it right, they would hit the top of your knuckles. Ooh, it was worse than conkers, believe me. 11:30, Roy's in Cranley. Good evening to you, dear sir.
Good evening to you, Paul.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Did you have any clackers in the 70s?
Well, if I did, I didn't know about them.
You didn't? Well, they didn't know about such things
No,
there,
I
did they?
haven't- I've never heard of them.
Have you not?
No, never heard of them.
You haven't lived.
Oh.
You must have had clackers.
No, never heard of them.
You never seen them?
No.
Oh, if we find out what they're actually called, and maybe they are called clackers, you'll have to do a little search online and find some.
No,
The
I've
other-
never heard of them, Paul.
The problem is, if you type clackers into Google, goodness only knows what's going to come up. It could be NHS Direct, you know.
I don't know.
Now then, what's going to come back that you would actually use, wear, eat, or whatever?
The good old type of English pub, where you had 3 bars but catered for everybody.
Is one not good enough for you then, or you drink?
Well, if
you
you're
drink
a
the first
smoker,
one
there's
dry?
a room for smoking. If you had
Oh.
a family, there's a room for families, and so on.
Because they used to have little
Yeah,
things
the
like.
saloon bar, the private bar.
Yeah, they did little different
They
bars.
had a
like
jug
this.
of bottle for the kids to come in the evening if you want a bag of crisps.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now these open plan pubs, they've messed everything up.
Still very popular though, aren't they? Maybe when the smoking ban comes in about 90 days' time, whatever it is, maybe then, that'll ease it up a little bit. Perhaps people that have kept away from them because the smoke will go in. I don't know.
But the whole idea of having 3 separate bars, you kept these people separate if they wanted to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's very true.
This law is coming into force where if you do smoke, you can't go to a pub anymore. That's
Absolutely right.
So
Absolutely.
I'm in favour that We live in a free society, not a controlled society.
Yeah, but it causes problems for other people, doesn't it? The thing is, you mean, the bar thing is an interesting one, because I remember hearing a debate on this yonks ago on the radio, and somebody said about having different bars, one for smoking and one for non-smoking, and they said they would have to be literally sealed off from each other. There could be no connection. Because, you know, a door or a little archway or anything is enough for the smoke to come through. And there would have to be two distinct, you know, bars. And there was somebody on there saying, well, that wouldn't work because you'd have to have, you know, two lots of bar staff. As at the moment, you'd have maybe the same bar staff walking between the two. You would have to have different staff in each one.
But with the modern day extractions they've got nowadays,
yeah, it doesn't, believe me. I've worked in nightclubs where they've got very, very modern extractors that are supposed to take the fumes out, but it doesn't work. You still find that, you know, if you in the light, you look at the smoke in the lights, and it's all just sort of like moving in the same direction, you know.
you know, with the separate bars, if you wanted someone who wanted to play the jukebox and have a game of darts, they didn't interfere with anybody. You just wanted a quiet chat somewhere.
So we want the bars back where they are, well, separate pubs with separate bars in them.
They used to be designed for in the first place.
Well,
to cater for everybody's needs.
It'll be interesting to see if other people agree with that as well. It would certainly solve a lot of problems, wouldn't it?
Well, I think it would be. There's the whole idea. That's why they were designed like that in the first place.
And we want some trousers for you that don't fall down as well.
That's right.
When you're on a diet.
Waist.
Roy, you take good care as always.
Have a nice one.
Speak to you soon. Bye. Talking of trousers that don't fall down, Monica just sent me a text through from Eastbourne. She says, Paul, maybe elasticated waist in the trousers, or maybe not. They did look pretty ghastly. There was something about them, actually, wasn't there? Yeah, absolutely. Jan's just been on the line from Deal, says that those things we were talking about were actually called knackers. So we thought clackers, but they were actually called knackers or knackers. No, it probably was knackers. I think it probably was knackers. You can't go around asking for knackers, can you? You know, it's not especially in the 70s, you know, hey, peace man, you know, get your knackers out. No, you can't do that. So knackers they were, yes, very nice. I've got a feeling mine were cheap ones, though. Also... had a call from Steve in Basingstoke who says that he's heard there's going to be a prequel to Life on Mars called Ashes to Ashes, telling the story of Gene Hunt before Sam Tyler got there. That's interesting. And June from Eastbourne says, bring back Dusty Springfield. We weren't talking about music as such, but yep, I suppose Dusty could come back as well, complete with that major hairstyle. Some more on the text, 07786 200 961. First of all, Elaine from Hertfordshire. Yes, I did get your details. Thank you for that. What else have we got? Dave from Salisbury. So I used to like the Ford Transit van. The front of it was square. I really thought it looked good. Would like to see that again. DJ from Portsmouth says, what about those Brush-O-Matic things, remember? It was one of those K-Tel products that came out at every Christmas. They certainly did, and we bought them every year as well. Oh, by the way, a few people said, yes, you can still buy blackjacks, and they are still called that. So thank you for that. Adam from Eastleigh says, Paul, I wasn't around in the 1970s, but I did see a programme about a magazine that was called Jackie that the ladies always used to read. Be interesting to see what that was like. I think it's still around, isn't it? I think Jackie still exists, or if it doesn't, something very, very similar. A few more blackjack calls. Thank you for that one. Here's a good one. Caroline from Wallisdown says, Paul, does anybody remember these geometric string pictures? Yes, I do. They were made with panel pins on a black background. Now, my mum had one of these, and I think you actually made it yourself. And you had like a piece of board that had like a bit of like felt on it or something, and then you had lots of little dots, and you had these like black pins, and you would bang the pins in, hundreds of the blinking things, and then you would thread string from one pin to the other like a pattern. And apparently you still see them in some of the Chinese takeaways. They're probably the ones that my mum made, actually. We chucked them out years ago. Yes, probably did. And is that what they were called? Geometric string pictures. They were so clever. It's a bit like, you know, the patterns that some screensavers do on the on a computer. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called Mystique or something, where you get like these all these triangles, and they sort of like twist and turn and mix together. Well, it was a bit like that. And everybody had them. I'd forgotten about them. Yeah. And also, Caroline says, what about the Cabbage Patch Dolls? Were they 70s? Were they, or were they early 80s? I think they were 80s, weren't they? Because there was a big problem with them. You know, people couldn't get them, could they? And they were very, very expensive and all the rest of it. And also, talking about sweets, Matt says, Paul, I always remember in the 70s some gorgeous sweets called Spangles. I wish they would come back because I love them. We spoke about that some years ago, actually. And they did stop making them, which was a bit of a problem. And also one from Steve as well, who says, Paul, those knacker clacker things you were mentioning earlier on, I've still got some, but they belong to my sister, who is quite a bit older than me. And do you know, up until your programme tonight, I had no idea what they were.
Call BBC Radio Kent 08459 811111.
Well, there you go. 23 minutes to 12, Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the South. And if you have just joined us, we're asking you what you would use again from the 70s that was around in the 70s. This is because Life on Mars has been so successful, the television programme, that there's renewed interest in that era once more. And there are a number of products that are going to start to be marketed again. Apparently, we're going to see adverts again for Spam. There's going to be a big advertising or marketing campaign for Cinzano, which apparently has generated a lot of interest. And also, just wondering maybe if some of the aftershaves and perfumes will be coming back as well. I mean, for men, of course, it was the Brute 33, which just stank, didn't it? I mean, it was vile. And we were trying to work out earlier on what the perfume equivalent to Brute 33 was. And we were thinking, would it have been Charlie? Was it Charlie that was the big thing? Or what was the thing by Lomthric? And the advert used to say, because I'm worth it. Not the stuff you stick on your head. There was a perfume as well that was really, really popular. So for the men, it would have been Brute 33, Blue Stratos. Oh, that used to stink. I used to get that every Christmas. And there was Tobacco, and there was another one as well called Denim. And there was this advert on the telly of this man with a denim shirt, with a medallion, the hairy chest and the lot. And there was this lady with the big hair and the big makeup. And she was putting her hand very, very close to his chest. And being 1970s, of course, the minute you got anywhere near his chest, off it went. And they say, denim, for the man who doesn't have to try too hard. Yeah. You can see why I didn't go into the voiceover business, can't you? So what would have been the ladies' equivalent of Brute 33? Oh, yeah. Coldplay and In My Place. It's 18 minutes to 12. Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the South. You're around the world at bbc.co.uk. And we're asking you, what would be the 1970s item, thing, product, whatever, that you would use again? We're going to start to see adverts on the telly, possibly, for a number of 70s things because of the great success of the Life on Mars television programme. A lot of people have shown renewed interest. So what is going to come back? Got some good ones coming through here. I'll do as many as I can on the text, as always. Want to know more about this this perfume? And I said, you know, what would have been the perfume equivalent of like the Brute 33 and the High Karate and the Blue Stratos and things like that. One that came through from James, who says, Paul, my sister would have been 12 in 1970. So therefore, throughout the latter part of the 70s, she would have been wearing perfume, and she always used to wear something called Smitty. And I can remember there was an advert on the television, and they used to say, Smitty did it. Do you know, I can remember that. I think my aunt used to wear that. It was one of those very sort of powdery 70s sort of smells. High Karate, says DJ in Portsmouth, was very, very popular. And, of course, tonic suits as well, that used to be sort of like, you know, two different colours. Yeah, that's very true. And also, who's this one come through from? Tracy from Bexhill says, Paul, one of the 1970s perfumes for women that was very, very popular was called Tramp. And do you know something? It absolutely stank. Absolutely stank. And I discovered a few weeks ago that it is still up for sale. No, that must be very old stock in the chemist, you know. They can't still make Tramp. Surely not. No, surely not. And Maggie from Wadhurst, says, are you thinking of Je Rivière by Worth? No, I'm not. Because, I mean, Gerivier had been around for much longer. I mean, Gerivier was around in the 50s, wasn't it? And was immensely popular. I think you can still buy it now. I think my mother wore that on the day she got married, and so did all her bridesmaids and what have you. I don't think the page boy did, though. And also, Maggie from Wadhurst says, I remember there was also a perfume in the 70s called Bluegrass. And all I can say is it smelled like cat's pee. It was absolutely dreadful. Not good at all. Let's go to Ramsgate, speak to Nick. Hello, Nick.
Hi there, how you doing?
Fine, how are you?
Right. Yeah, fine, thanks.
Were you around in the 1970s?
Just about. I was born in 1970.
Oh, right. So you wouldn't have gone round smelling of High Karate or Brute 33 then?
No, I wouldn't have known about such things.
God,
I was after sweets more.
You miss nothing, believe me, you miss nothing. So what do you think you would use if it were to come back in a big way, as a lot of this 70s stuff apparently is going to?
Well, the thing I remember as being the height of sophistication when I saw the TV adverts was soda siphons. I thought they looked so classy.
It was. They were really cool.
Yeah.
And of course, you used to have different shaped ones as well. There was, we had like quite a tall one, a very tall, thin one. But what I always thought was really nice, and used to see them on the telly a lot, was a round soda siphon.
Right.
And it was like sort of, I think you would call it brushed aluminium, you know, so it wasn't shiny.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a steel type thing. And I always thought they were the bee's knees.
Yeah, the one I remember, I seem to remember a red one.
Yes.
A shiny red one, like I don't know what it was made of.
Quite possibly.
And you had the clear glass. But the idea of just pushing a little lever on your drink is just splash into the glass.
Out it came.
And it always happened at Christmas time, I felt. The adverts all came out then, yeah.
It was the only time that you could really be bothered with it, because, you know, throughout the year it was just a pain in the neck to go to get your soda siphon going, because you have to put water in it in these little tablets, then you have to screw these bombs on the side for the gas.
Yeah.
And you would sit there and wait for the thing to be done, and it was easier to just go and buy a bottle, to be honest, from the off licence.
That's right, yeah.
You know, half the time, which would have been about 10p with the money back on the top of the bottles.
Yeah. It's kind of a CO2 powered thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But no, I always used to think they were really cool. And the chap I used to go to school with, and his mum and dad had one of these round ones.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I used to think, you know, why can't we have one like that,
That's
you know?
right, yeah. It was a little bit beyond our reach, I think, but I just remember seeing the sophisticated people.
Oh, yeah.
And especially, you know, all the excitement at Christmas, but...
It was around that time when all these goodies used to come out, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
They certainly did. Is there something that you know, I mean, obviously you weren't around that much to remember.
Not too old, yeah.
But is there one thing you would use or wear, do you think, if those fashions did come back? I mean, I don't think the fashions will, because they were too outrageous. But, I mean, what about flared trousers? There have been various attempts over the last 10 years or so to bring them back.
I saw people wearing them, flared trousers, yeah.
So you'd be okay walking around looking like one of the stylistics, you know? Around in the wind.
I don't think there is much, really. I remember seeing girls wearing sort of clogs and sort of very high platform boots kind of thing, but that was kind of in the mould of ABBA, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it probably was.
Yeah.
What about shirts, Nick, with really great big collars, you know, enormous collars that almost come down to your navel, you know, and would be nice and patterned, usually orange, purple, green or brown.
Yeah,
you have a nice
brown,
and a nice contrasting tank top over the top, you know?
Yeah.
Love.
Big enough to let you take off when you run too fast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, remember tank tops?
Oh, they were interesting. Soda siphon I like it lots. Good to speak to you, Nick.
And you.
Thanks for your call. You take care.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. There's Nick from Ramsgate. Yeah, they were good. Peter from Christchurch is record players. You mean record players, you know, fully, you know, self-contained things in the box rather than just a sort of a turntable or a deck, as they probably call them now. The sort of the dance set thing where you know, undo the little clips at the side, lift the lid up, and inside you've got your record player. The auto changer was fab. You could stick 5 records on and go and have a boogie around the front room, you know. And when one would finish, the other one would come down on top. But I never got the grasp of those. I never really got the idea. I didn't realise you couldn't put singles and albums on, you know. So I used to end up with all sorts of problems. Oh, dear, I'm going to go there. Sandra's in Horsham. Hi, Sandra.
Hello, Paul.
How are you, my sweet?
I'm very well, thank
Jolly
you. We had a
good.
dance set, you just mentioned it, and I used to get quite scared when they all flopped down one after the other. But
Well, especially if they one flopped down before the other one had finished.
Exactly.
I had terrible problems with mine. Apparently, I had a bent spindle.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, according to the man in the repair shop, my spindle was bent, which meant that at certain times, when, you know, it would just fall down. There was like a little thing at the top that held
That's
it.
right, yes.
And then when the auto changer bit wanted to work, it would move in.
Yes.
And so the other record could fall down, but my spindle used to go in at the wrong time.
strange how you forget these things. There's so much, you know, you just forget until somebody... My mother's perfume was Tweed, I remember.
Which I mentioned just now. It was very popular, wasn't it?
That bit.
No, I was just saying, actually, whilst you were phoning through, about the you know, what the women's perfume equivalent of the men's Old Spice and Brut and what have you would have been.
I think they're all pretty ghastly in those days, unless you got lots of money, because
all
the really good ones.
My mother used to wear a really nice perfume back in the 70s, which wasn't a cheap one.
No.
And it was called Farouche. Now, how I've remembered that, goodness only knows, because I can't remember what I did yesterday.
I don't remember that.
But I always remember this perfume called Farouche, and it was in quite a large bottle, and it was really nice. The other thing she used to wear, which everybody wore, was Estee Lauder's Youth Dew.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which was very popular as well. But this Farouche, I've always remembered. It was a very unique smell. Yeah. So what about you? What are you going to have back?
Well, I would like my Cortina back.
Your old Cortina?
It had a wonderful engine, and I could park it on a sixpence. Mainly because it had got a square front and a square back. All the cars I've had since, the boots and bonnets disappear, and you're just guessing most of the time. And it's
which one did you have? What Mark Cortina did you have?
I think it was that somebody said it was a Mark IV.
A Mark IV?
One of the last ones, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say it could have been one of the later ones. Because everything was very square in the 70s anyway, wasn't it?
Yes, oh yes.
So you would end up with these.
Some people hated them, but I loved mine. And I tell you why, because I was really rather naughty, I think. I used to keep spot on the speed limit, 30 miles an hour, and I could see these. Unfortunately, it did happen to be men behind me in those days. They're much better now. Sort of got right up my boot, looking at me, thinking, oh, it's a woman, we'll soon get round. And I used to keep to the 30, right to the very last second, and then I'd put my foot down and whoosh, it had gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a bit naughty, but it was. I only did it if it was safe to do so, of course. Yeah. But it was a lovely drive. I used to drive.
They were very popular, a lot of them around.
Well, yes. I used to drive all around Sussex on doing these party plan things, like Tupperware, and it was clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had lots of wonderful families and people all around the place. And so, of course, I learned all the lanes. We'd only moved to Sussex a couple of years before. And so doing the party plan, I learned so much. All these little lanes joined up together. And, of course, in my lovely car.
Well, you should try and find one. You'd still find, I'm sure you'd find one in the... one of these sort of exchange and mark things for cars.
Oh, probably.
It might be a bit old and clapped out, but
I'm a bit old for dashing
it probably won't, pass its MOT because the emissions will be.
My grandchildren say to me sometimes, "Grandma, you don't drive as fast as Mummy." I said, "Well, of course not. My reactions aren't as. I'm not as young, and my reactions aren't as good as they used to."
And you won't be doing that in a Cortina Mark IV either. But there you go. I like it, Sandra. Thank you.
All right, love.
Yeah, lovely to speak to you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Bye. Sandra from Horsham with the old Cortina. Helen's listening in California. She goes, Paul, there were a couple of perfumes that I remember. There was one called Cachet by Prince Machiavelli. Was it called Cachet? Was it called Cacharel? Or is Cacharel the make? Prince Machiavelli, remember that? Neil won't remember. They wouldn't have had it where he comes from. They didn't have perfume up there. They just had a bit of water or rub a bit of Knights Castile on your chest before you went out. That was about as... That's about as good as it got. Just hope you didn't go out in the rain and get wet. Maybe the girls thinking, where those bubbles come from? That's a nice trick. And also, Helen from California says, and of course, Charlie was very popular as well. Yikes, she says. That was bizarre. Anna from Newhall says, I used to have a perfume that was called Styx, as well as Charlie. Really, really nice. And another 70s one was called Bond Street by Yardley that was quite popular as well. And also the bottles that used to have a refund of 5 pence on them. I thought that was a pretty good idea. I've got so many here. A lot of people mention this perfume Tramp that we said a little bit earlier on. Taboo from Sam in Tadley says, you mentioning perfumes, my mum used to have one called Taboo, which is still around. I remember that, not quite sure. Here's the one I was trying to think earlier on. Julie from Blackwater, Panache. That was it. And there was an advert on the telly for Panache, and it was, one of these women with lots of hair and what have you. Neil will remember that one. That was the big Panache, wasn't it? Was that the one we mentioned earlier on? I think it came in a square box or a square bottle. Panache. Huge. It's from Julie in Blackwater. Can I have a bug? No, you can't. Also, Molly from Crockenhill says, would the chopper bike be successful? Would the youngsters wear it? Wear it? They wouldn't. Hopefully not. Would they ride the thing? I don't think they would. I don't think they would. Shirley from Hayling says, remember the perfume called Fiji that was very popular as well? What else have we got here? Bill come through from Romsey. He says, what about a Boilermaker's drink, which was half a brown ale and half beer? You could probably still get that now, couldn't you? Maybe it's not fashionable, but you could still ask for it, I would imagine. And also, Caroline in Sonning says there was a perfume called Gingham, which was the female version of Brute. Really? I hope it didn't smell like the female version of Brute. Good grief. But I can remember my father wearing Brute, even going out for, you know, to a do or a party or a wedding or anything. I mean, everybody wore it. And the problem was, you got the lot. You got the shampoo, you got the bath salts, you got the splash it all over, you know. And it was soap on a rope, yeah. And of course it was lethal. It used to burn your face. And there'll be all these people turning up at weddings with all these red faces and thinking, oh, you've been using the soap on a rope as well, have you? It was just awful, absolutely. And also Helen from Wokingham says her Jackie albums that she liked, and also Champagne Trees as well. What's a champagne tree? You mean thing you make out of... You make them out of glasses, don't you? And then you pour the champagne in the top. Oh, that's a champagne fountain. What's a champagne tree? Does anybody know what a champagne tree was? I'd like to know. Pick up the phone and give us a ring. 1970s, Aquamanda was rather nice. Had like an orange smell. Somebody has just mentioned. Bobby Bingo from Petersfield says the old chopper was really, really good. I used to love mine with the old gear change and what have you. Clive in Long Crendon says there was a soft drink called Cresta. You may remember the advertising campaign was It's Frothy, Man. Was beautiful. Really, really liked that. And also Fabergé, and there was an aftershave called Wild West. Wild West by Fabergé. Sort of remember that. Sort of ish, but sort of yes and no. Fabergé? I remember the adverts for Fabergé, I know that. A couple more, then have a song up towards the news. There was a perfume called Blaze, says Wendy from Farnborough, that was absolutely wonderful. And what else have we got here? Let me see. Spirograph from Alan in Poole said surely people would love that if that came back. Oh, and also, finally, Liz in Weymouth says, Paul, I've been doing a bit of research on Gongle. I think that's probably Google. I'll just check on Gongle. Spelling mistakes are wonderful things, aren't they? And those things that we were talking about earlier, these Kanaka things, the official name for them, according to Gongle, was definitely clackers. That was the official name, all right? So if anybody asks, you can tell them they were clackers because Gongle says so, all right? So, that's it. End of story. It's 3 minutes to 12. I think we'd better have a song, so I should get my old dance set going. Then we've got news and weather with Neil, and then we're back. We're back with some more. Go.
Wear my heart on your sleeve. I'm not
Lyle, hot on my sleeve.
Across the county and around the world.
This is BBC Radio Kent.
Sail from Southampton, only to strike an iceberg 5 days into her voyage. Well, this week, Southampton's hosting a number of events in memory of those who lost their lives. One of them is an exhibition at the Civic Centre. It aims to highlight the contrasts between those who travelled first class and those who travelled in third class. Sport, there was a full programme of football last night. You can hear reports of each of those games in tomorrow morning's breakfast shows. Finally, Paul, people would rather eat a meal with their family, cooked by celebrity chef Jamie Oliver, rather than go out on a dinner date with Kylie Minogue or Sean Connery, according to
a survey.
It's today's survey, first one of the day. The worst family to dine with would be, who do you reckon? Who do you reckon the people would most desperately not want to go out to dinner with? I'll give you a clue, reality TV.
Jade.
Spot on.
Jade,
Jade Goody and her mum Jackie and all her relatives.
Hasn't she split up with her boyfriend or whatever he was?
Oh, I don't know. I don't
The
care.
blonde bloke who was a model. apparently,
Absolutely
the one,
no interest at all whatsoever.
No, I
No.
wouldn't go out with that. Would you? Oh, no, thank you very much. No.
So what would you eat on this dinner date? Forget curries. An Italian meal tops the polls of the nation's favourite meal for a dinner date.
Yeah, it doesn't repeat so much, you see. I think that's probably why.
27% of us would go out for an Italian, followed by traditional British food, 18%.
What's traditional British food? Fish and chips?
Fish and chips is very popular. Very popular. Then seafood, and then Chinese, and then Indian food. Only 8% would take a date out to an Indian restaurant.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with Indian, haven't you? Because if you have the wrong thing or whatever, you can be in big trouble.
I wouldn't go anywhere near any of them.
No, I know you
No.
don't.
Chinese I would. Not Indian, though.
Yeah.
Britain, the nation's worst dinner date will be someone who smokes, followed by someone who is annoyingly loud.
And if it's somebody who's annoyingly loud who also smokes, then you're in big trouble, really, aren't you?
Telling bad jokes.
Yeah. There's always one, isn't there?
Or sitting next to somebody who split up.
Or the one who tells you their life story, you know. Did I tell you? Yes, you did. Have I told you about? Yes, you have, funnily enough. And
400 times.
Drive you mad. They really do. Oh, I've been meaning to tell you, have you? No, I just keep well away from those people. I've actually got the ability to get up and walk away from them. I can do it, and I have done it.
How would you feel about going on an Italian dinner date with somebody who had spaghetti, but then slurped it up?
I've been there.
Actually sits there and
put
sucks
it in their
up.
tongue. I've got a friend who does that. The
And
thing
you
is,
get bolognese everywhere.
yeah, but you see, but he gets the last laugh because when I'm sitting there, you know, still trying to twist me first bit into the spoon, 20 minutes after it being dished up, you know, he's finished.
So that's why I don't have spaghetti, because I don't know whether it's twist it round into the spoon or you cut it with a knife and fork.
No,
or
you definitely twist.
Or you just...
Well, I don't know about where you come from, but down
As you
here
say,
we
you just
do.
have one bit and suck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but you can do. I think both are acceptable. Yeah, both are acceptable. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Right, well, I'll do spaghetti on Saturday then.
Yeah, so,
I'll be on a table on my own.
I was going to say you will. No one's going to get anywhere near you. Interesting text come through here from Callum from West Worthing, who's only 14. He says, I've been doing some research and I think the chopper bike is really nice. I would ride one. However, similar points been made here by Peter, who is in Maidstone. He says, Paul, the chopper bike, as you mentioned earlier on, was reintroduced a few years ago, but it wasn't quite the same.
No, it wasn't. It was different.
It was different, wasn't it? And so therefore it's not really the same thing. Was it the handlebars were different? Because the Helston
I think I could be wrong, but I think they moved the gear change to the handlebar.
It can't be up there. That's no good.
Rather than on the
It
crossbar.
used to be down in the middle, didn't it?
I remember maybe it's because I was smaller at the time, but the seats seemed to be really long.
They were.
And you could give your brother a backie on it.
Yeah, you get people on the back, no problem. I remember my cousin used to ride mine, and I used to get on it as well. I noticed she did the riding and I did the sitting there.
Had a small wheel at the front and a big one at the back,
Yeah,
didn't
that's
it?
right.
And like your first bike, which had a big one at the front and a small one at the back.
There's no need for that. But it's true, I used to sit on the back, and there was one occasion I remember, we went miles.
Dangling.
They were, literally. And as we went, you know, I used to put them and go, whee, as we went along. I did. My cousin used to say, I'll get some speed up, but she was a big girl.
Did you used to get a playing card with a peg and put it in the back spokes
To make the noise.
to make it sound like
Yeah.
a motorbike?
Worse than that, you could do it with a bit of plastic or something, and all the neighbours used to come out, you little swine, get out of here.
Worse than that.
Yeah, it was as well. But yeah, we used to do that. But there was one occasion, I can't remember where we'd been, but we were going miles on this bike, and I was on the back, and my cousin was riding the thing. But I was actually facing backwards.
Right.
So
like a lookout.
So yeah, literally to see what was going on behind, and it had
See
been
where you'd been.
and it had been, exactly, and it had been raining this day. So of course it was wet. So when we got home, I never realised, but my face was absolutely covered in the mud that had been spraying up from this wheel. I went mad, and so did my mother. I think I was in the sink. Get in there.
Yeah, feet first.
Yeah, being my height does come in handy. It saved on the hot water. Didn't have the immersion heater until 5:30, you know. So, yeah, get in the sink, you. And in I went, legs dangling, you know. Those mixer taps were right pain.
Sharing it with the dog. Move over a bit.
Those mixer taps were dreadful things. But it was, no, it was good.
Was it one of those? One of the hoses with the that used to go on the taps?
Yeah, used to with your rubber hoses.
Rubber hose. That's it.
And if you got too much pressure, you used to spray out the back up the wall. And I used to kink the pipe and make it happen. Look what you've done. Ouch, that hurt. Yeah, look at my wall. every single time. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But no, it was good. It was good. The perfumes thing's gone down very well as well. Some interesting ones. Matt from Hartley Whitney said, does anybody remember an aftershave in the 70s called Pagan Man?
Nope.
Nope, neither do I. I remember one called Marbot Man, but that may have been 1980s, actually. And also, Anne from Thatcham says there was a great perfume in the 70s. It was very popular, called Madame Rocha. She always wear that again. I wonder why they stop them. I suppose it's become sort of old-fashioned, don't they? The smells don't sort of, work. And Wendy from Farnborough would like her perfume back called Blaze, which were very, very nice.
But can you imagine, like, the marketing for... I mean, Pagan Man, it sounds 70s, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, absolutely.
I can just see the bottle there, probably a square bottle.
Yeah. Yep, it's got to be with the... See, that is the thing, isn't it? I mean, do you advertise it in a retro style, or do you try and advertise it in a modern-day style? So you're just bringing an older product into today's society?
Like they're doing with Cinzano.
Yeah.
They're advertising that as like a spritzer type thing now, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And spam you talked about earlier on.
Oh, that's horrible stuff. But again, we know Cinzano is...
You'll never get a spammy award then. Oh, I found out about Spamalot, by the way.
Oh, when they doing it?
It's going to be on St George's Day, 23rd of April.
Oh, that's a few weeks away, right.
That's when we'll be flying the flag for England on that day. We're not afraid to be...
No, not at all.
patriotic.
No, not at all. It'll probably fall down, but I'm sure it'll...
We get told off for doing it.
We can show it. I can't put that up there. All right, there. Don't worry about it. Just look the other way. That'll be absolutely fine. I don't know. And also, Joanna's been in touch as well. She's also been on Gongle, looking up the clackers. And apparently, they were officially banned in this country. They were imported from somewhere like China.
Ask her to check Yeehaw.
And they were. That could be just as good, couldn't it? Don't go into dog pile, whatever you do. And she was, and apparently they were officially banned. They weren't allowed to import them because they were dangerous. There were too many people having injuries.
They're the
with
things
them.
that used to go over your hand, weren't they?
Yeah, they got.
Yeah.
They were good. I used to have some green ones. They were good.
We had those at school.
That we weren't allowed to have them at school. They'd be taken away from you. Weren't allowed to have things like that at school. Thank you very much.
If you were caught.
Yeah, we always used
There
to
was
get
always
caught at our
ways
school.
and means going...
No, not in my school. My school was quite small.
Go and hide
you see,
between the mobiles. They never caught us there.
Between the mobiles? What's a mobile?
Oh, we had mobile classrooms.
Mobile? What, they sort of move around whilst you're in lessons,
No,
Hold on tight, here we go.
They're like two,
around the corner.
they're like two caravans pushed side by side with the middle wall taken out.
Oh, how common is that? We had
loads of them at both of the schools I went to.
We had like porter cabin things.
Well, it's similar to that.
But they weren't on wheels. I mean, they didn't
were
move.
on wheels, yeah.
Oh, no, these things never moved. They stayed where they were.
No, these were. And they were jacked up. So the wheels weren't actually on the ground. And you didn't have a tow bar on the front. But
we never had things like that. We had some old wooden huts when I first went to my school that were there when my mother went to the school. And so you can imagine, what happened to them. They promptly fell down. The wood rot got to the bed of them after a while. But these porter cabin things went in. But no, we never had things on wheels.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, they're called mobiles.
No, we never had those. Did you have a dining hall that was also the gymnasium and everything else?
Yeah.
One big hall that did everything.
Yeah,
and
we did at primary school.
Oh, and it was murder, because if you had PE in the afternoon, you'd be running around barefoot, going into a bit of potato.
Slipping over on the mash.
An old bit of sprout would appear that was left over. And it was awful.
Or worse still, if you were sitting there having your dinner, you look up, there's somebody hanging from the ropes above you still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Couldn't get down.
Right,
the fat kid who couldn't get down.
I was good at PE.
I was awful.
I was good.
I could not get up those ropes for love nor money.
You're about 90 stone, that's why. Yeah, you deny it. All right, then 85.
We never did anything like that at primary school because we weren't allowed to be competitive.
Oh, we did.
So there was we didn't do sports day or anything at primary school. Although we did have a sports hall, as you said, which doubled up as the dining room.
It did everything.
Hopping Hill Primary, that was.
Hopping Hill?
Hopping Hill Primary. In Dusson.
Only he goes to Hopping Hill Primary School, doesn't he? Is it still there, or is it optic?
I think so.
It's still there?
Yeah, I think so.
They got a picture of you up on the wall.
In fact, my secondary school is celebrating its 40th birthday this year.
Oh, is it quite a new one then? My secondary school was very
What's it
old.
like being 40? I'll
Don't know.
You can't remember?
No, I wouldn't know. Once 15 years before we get there. I went back to my old secondary school a few years ago. They called me back to hand out some awards. And
they called you back to hand back the library books, you mean?
Shh. No, shh. And it's falling to bits. They're waiting for it to be rebuilt somewhere. They say it's literally collapsing.
Well, my secondary school was built back to front. It's a well-known story.
What do you mean? You mean the back's the front and the front's the back?
Yeah. So they've got the kitchens and all the ancillary areas, and basically the back of the school is at the front. So you drive past the main road on the main road, and what should be like a nice frontage with the classrooms and the fascias is at the back, and that overlooks the fields. They built it back to front.
See, I told you I come from a strange place, didn't I? You know, I mean, they did all sorts of funny things there. But there you go.
Good school, that was. Had to be, was approved. A clear night tonight, allowing a few mist or fog patches to form in places. Light to westerly winds, minimum overnight lows, 6 Celsius, 43 degrees Fahrenheit. For the rest of Tuesday, mainly dry, rather cloudy at times, with some bright or sunny spells. Still feeling warm, though. Maximum temperatures, 19 Celsius, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. And the outlook for Wednesday, dry with some pleasantly warm sunshine by day. Overnight fog patches by night, though. And that's the way it looks at the moment. It's not bank holiday anymore.
No, it's all finished now.
Got 2 weeks to wait now to the next one. Or is it 3?
Oh, I don't know. We have loads, though, altogether. We have a bank holiday everything. You got a holiday Monday for this, and this bank holiday Monday, and flip-flop Monday, and, you know, Eat Curry Friday, and all sorts of things.
And then we've got a huge wait then till the next one.
Yeah.
And then the one after that's Christmas.
It's Christmas, yes.
that's this year sorted out then.
There's a cheery note, everybody, hasn't it?
Oh, God.
It's tea time holiday as well, please, because we're dehydrating in here. Thank you very much.
Paul Miller on BBC Radio Kent.
We've got some more of those 70s goodies coming up in just a sec. And a lovely text just come through from Zippy, who says, can you please give me the website for Gongle, as I want to find eBay to sell my knockers. Just coming up 2:21 minutes past 12, Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the South. Loads and loads and loads of texts and emails coming through. Talking about these old clackers, had a text come through from Karen from Leon Solent. It says, Paul, I remember the clackers the first time round. I wasn't going to say a word about your age, honestly. She said, I bought some about 4 years ago in a toy shop in Southampton. They still exist, and they are still as lethal as ever. I think they would be, because they're really pretty bad things, you know, and it's really horrible if you bang the back of your hands on them. Not good at all. One from... Who's this from? It's come through from Annie, who is in Catterstock. She says, hi, Paul, do you remember the old jug and bottles that pubs used to have? They were really good because you could take empty bottles back and get the deposit, just a few pence, which was absolutely superb. I certainly do. And also, Howard in Portsmouth says, Paul, talking of the 70s aftershaves, High Karate was one that I always remember. That would take one serious ad campaign to make that stuff sell now. It was like the brute that had been rejected at the factory. And I'm sure that came in like a black bottle as well, with like sort of a Chinese or Japanese writing on the side. It was really, really weird stuff. Jerry and Anna from Newhall say, Paul, a couple of things I would like to bring back. Planet of the Apes on the television, because I loved it. Ted Rogers and 321, perhaps would understand the clues this time round. No, I don't think you would, believe me. And also, what about bringing Pan's People back on Top of the Pops? Well, how about bringing Top of the Pops back? But it's not there, is it? So there you go. It's completely gone. And what was the others? A few more clackers coming through. I've got so many texts coming through here. I mean, I'm talking hundreds. So if I don't read yours out, I do apologise, but that is the reason why I can't read all of them. I'll be here forever. A few more people mentioning the Soda Stream. Rachel in Midhurst says, get busy with the fizzy Soda Stream was really, really good. Used to put the concentrate in and then the fizz up the bottle. That was quite nice. And also, Val from Chichester said there was a great perfume in the 70s which people may remember by Helena Rubinstein, which was called Apple Blossom. And that was such an original name, wasn't it? You know, and you can imagine what it smelt like. Yep, it probably smelt like Apple Blossom, but there you go. Hi to Steve on the A34. Just thanks for my bug and my certificate, which was waiting for me on the doorstep when I got back from holiday. Goody, goody, goody. Hi to Carol from Reading. Says, why have you not read my text out? Carol, my love, simply because I have got so many. She was also mentioning the point about the clackers as well. So no reason for me not reading it out, just because there were so many of them. And one that's come through here from Brenda. She says, Paul, there is something that I think would be very popular if it were to come back from the 70s, that everybody could have. Do you remember those tables that had these like tables you'd put in the, in front of you in the front room for putting, drinks and stuff on? They had glass tops, And inside them, there were plants and things that used to grow. My mum and dad had one, and I always remember that my mum was always having to open it up and change the plants because they were real plants, and so all you could see was mould and condensation on the underside of the table, which sounds about right, doesn't it? I think they will be quite popular because if you put plastic flowers in them or pebbles and shells like my mum sometimes did, they were very, very nice indeed. I do know what you mean, but no, I don't think we actually had one. And also Gloria says, what about radiograms? Where it was like a piece of furniture that you have in the corner of the room. When you opened it up, there'll be a record player and possibly even a tape player and a radio as well. There was also a little slot at the side for you to put your LPs. I can always remember my dad had all these old military LPs in there, and we used to dread him playing them because they were absolutely hideous. Yeah, we had one of those as well. The old Ferguson stuck in the corner of the room until one day Mother was doing a bit of hoovering and decided that even though it needed about 4 people to pick up this battleship, she would have a go at doing it herself. So she dragged it and one of the legs buckled, and that was the end of that. So it was sort of like sitting there in the corner of the room forevermore, but it didn't. But it didn't get moved anymore, because if you did move it, the leg would fall off, and that would be the end of it. Yes, many a memory of sitting in front of the old gas fire, listening to DLT on the breakfast show, getting myself ready for school. That was on the old clapped-out radiogram as well. I don't know. Let's take a few more calls on this. Mike's in Folkestone. Hello, Mike.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, great.
Jolly good. So if there is going to be this big 70s revival, and apparently they're going to try again after the success of this Life on Mars programme, what do you think should come back?
Well, some of the things I still use, like tobacco, aftershave and deodorant, I still use it.
Is it still made?
Of course it is.
Isn't that the one that's in the white bottle with black writing on?
No, it's in a brown canister with black writing on.
Did it ever come in a white little bottle with black writing on, tobacco?
Ah, hang on, you're talking about the aftershave. That's in a white bottle, yes.
Ah, because that's all I remember. And it's got like a sort of a very, what I would call a tobacco-y smell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
I've used it for about past 30 years.
And it still exists?
Yeah, still get it now. Boots sell it.
I had no idea.
And other chemists.
I had no idea. Any others that are like it as well? That that have been around for. I mean, they don't still make Brute, do they?
I don't think so.
I think that's been rebranded now as Fly Killer, and so you don't. So you just look for that stuff, whatever it's called, Fly Kill, and spray that around the room.
You're talking about Flit.
And that's it, the old Flitch. And do any of the others still exist? I mean, does Denim still exist?
Probably does. I don't know. I mean, I just stick to the one that I was introduced to, and I've used ever since.
Yeah. I think my dad had some of that because it was the those gift packs that you used to get at Christmas, wasn't it? Mm. And you would have the aftershave, then there'll be a little bar of soap and sometimes some talcum powder as well.
It's all still available.
Is it really?
Mm.
Forgive me for asking this, and don't take this the wrong way, but is it quite expensive now? And I mean that genuinely. I'm not being sarcastic.
The aftershave is about... God, I normally buy 6 or 7 at a time and on a special price. The aftershave's the dear stuff, probably about £11 for like 150 mils.
So it is still quite expensive then?
Yeah, but it's not compared with some of the stuff.
No, but it is. I don't think it was that expensive years ago, was it? Comparatively, that is.
Oh yeah, comparatively. It's comparatively. I mean,
wonder who makes it.
It's a German make, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, because you can't get it in America.
I don't know.
Also speaking, I've got one of those soda siphons.
Have you got one? What, the round one?
No, it's one of the tall ones that you screw the bomb on.
See, I always wanted one of the round ones when I was a kid.
You know, I didn't see that, and I've got one of those geometric things with the string.
Now, my mum had one. It's all coming back to me now. Ours was like, had an orange background, and it had like black string.
No, mine's a black background, and it's got... I'm looking at it now, actually.
Is it on the wall? Have you still got it?
Yeah, of course I still got it.
Fabulous.
I'm looking at it now.
I haven't seen one of those in years. I don't know what happened to mine. I think the springs went pink.
Red, yellow and whitish colour.
Oh, that sounds very 1970s to me. There's got to be some yellow or some orange in there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's yellow, orange and red, and it's all straight lines, but it looks like curves.
Very clever the way they were made.
It was brilliant, actually. I mean, they were quite good fun to make.
Yeah, as I say, some of them you could make. My mum made hers, but there were some you could make ready-made if you were a pillock like me and you couldn't actually do it.
Oh, it's straightforward.
Yeah, not for me, it's not. I'm about as artistic as a flea. Oh, you might be interested to know, Mike. Vic from Cliftonville and Brian from Raynham have just been in touch. And in some stores, hope you're sitting down, you can still buy Brute 33. It is still made. Just imagine walking past somebody and you get a whiff of that. You'd be recognise it instantly. It's such a unique smell.
It was awful, wasn't it? Well, I thought it was.
I never liked it. My father used to wear it for a while. I think it was because, all his relatives used to buy it for him in those packs every Christmas. You'd end up with, stacks and stacks of it. Underneath the Christmas tree, mid-70s, all the gifts to the men, they were all those boxes, and they were all the same size, weren't they?
True.
And you knew what was going to be inside it. Brute, Blue Stratus, Tobacco, whatever they happened to be, denim, they were all there.
There's another one still going, isn't there? Yardley's 4711.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yardley's 4711. I know this ain't called Yardley's Gold, which a friend of mine wears, and the number of people that have gone up to him and said, "Excuse me, I hope you don't mind me asking you a personal question, but what is that aftershave? I really like it." And when he tells them what it is, they look and say, "Oh," and sort of turn their nose up, and think, "Oh, so it's nothing special then." He says, "No, super drug,
It is, yeah, you can go.
It's nice. It's a very nice smell.
You were saying was mine expensive. I mean, one of the people I work with, they use one that's £25 a bottle.
Really?
That's
a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah, I use it all the time. But
I suppose it's horses for courses, what you like.
That's true.
Absolutely right. So they are still around.
There's a lot of things still around, like your little bugs. I've got 2 of those.
Yeah, they're going to be collector's items. Yeah. Very few left.
And it goes everywhere.
Bless its little heart. Well, look after him, won't you?
It's off to America this year and Egypt.
Oh, is it? Will he be taking some photographs?
I think he will.
Good. Send them back. That website will be up and running in the summer. We're getting that prepared now, so it'll be good. Mike, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's always lovely to speak to you. Thanks for your call.
Great programme.
Bless your heart. Take care.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. You won't believe this. You won't believe this. I have just had a text come through from Ray in Brighton. He says, "Paul, that gentleman has made my day. I used to wear tobacco all the time. Can you tell me where you get it from?" You are sad.
Call BBC Radio Kent 08459 811111.
As Mike actually said, you can still get it. You can buy it in this or the these chemists and places like that. It's still very much there. What else have we got? Yeah, a lot of people saying about the Brute 33, so thank you for that. Teresa from Ramsgate said, "Paul, you mentioned the radiogram just now. You could still stack lots of 45s on there, and we were fascinated how after they played one after another. My mum still got it." Yep. Of course, the old auto-changer thing was very, very useful. And also, Michelle from Weymouth has just bought a memory back. Now, Neil may remember this, because this became very, very popular mid-1980s. The aftershave, it was when men started wearing sort of like, rather than wearing aftershave, colognes and things you would spray on you, rather than it would splash on your face. And mid-80s, everybody wore this. Michelle from Weymouth has reminded us, Noir. Do you not remember Noir? It used to come in a black bottle. Noir. What did you say, Neil? The talkbacks. The talkbacks to early 1970s as well. Say it again. I got maybe third time lucky. I'll give it a bash. Noir. Yeah, Noir in a black bottle. Yes. I mean, you wouldn't have known anyway. I mean, it could have been called... Yes, I know it's French for black. But they're not going to call it Noir and put it in a green bottle. You'd have still thought it was black anyway, so what difference does it make? Yeah, Noir was massive. And I've got a feeling it was called something Noir. There was a name in front of it. And it was everyone wore it. I can remember I used to wear it as well. It was very, very pungent, very, very strong. And everyone wore it until everybody wore it. And then they got fed up with it and thought, we all smell the same, so we're not going to bother with it anymore. It's probably when I got my old Spice out again, and everyone said, good grief, what's going there? 25 to 1 is the time. Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the Smouth. We're back to Gongle again, aren't we? It's been a long day. I guess I should know. Red Corvettes. It's coming up to 20 to 1. Paul Miller Show from the BBC in the South. Around the world at bbc.co.uk. We've been taking it easy tonight on this, what was Bank Holiday Monday, heading down towards Tuesday. If you're back at work, well, you had 4 days off, or Little date of a rest or two. You can't have too much, I suppose. We've been asking you about the things from the 70s that if they were to come back, you would use. And there's a reason for this, not just a reminisce about those golden years. But it looks as though the style gurus are working on this because the television programme Life on Mars has been so successful and it's generated a load of interest again in the 1970s. So people who do the marketing have thought, right, well, let's see what we can do. You also get adverts coming on the television, in magazines and what have you very, very shortly for things like Spam, Cinzano. Now, Cinzano is interesting. It's like a very sweet vermouth, but it's going to be re-advertised, we're told, as something that you would use now to make a spritzer out of. So as when it was the Leonard Rossiter, Joan Collins thing in the past, it's not going to be sold as that. They're going to do it as this spritzer thing and make it sound a bit more modern. But it's still Cinzano, nevertheless, because that's going to make a comeback. Flared trousers have been coming back, you know, off and on for a while. But so we were just asking you what you would like to come back and what you would actually wear. Because even though people sometimes say they like the 70s, you can go to 70s nightclubs, you can go to 70s themed clubs and parties and things. That's fine. But would you actually walk down the road looking like that? I mean, ladies, the big permed hairstyles. Gentlemen with the perms as well. Looking like Kevin Keegan. You know? And those perms that the women used to have, where they used to be growing out at the top. So the top of the head would be flat, you know, flat, and then you'd have just the curls at the bottom. Do you remember when it was growing out? And then one day your mum would go to the hairdresser and have it all done. So it was all back up again, looking like, you know, the Hair Bear bunch. And then 2 months later, suddenly you'd start to get this flat bit in the middle where it grew out. And chaps, I mean, in this final bit of the programme, any men listening who had a perm in the 70s, where you used to go in and there you were, sat next to Doreen and Kath, having your perm done. Because, I mean, it must have been a really weird experience. You know, holding the papers and giving them to the ladies when they, you know, they're winding in those curlers and what have you. Love to hear. Any men that had it down the last bit, pick up the phone and give us a ring. Karen from Leon Solent says, Paul, I've only just tuned in. Does anybody mention the perfume High Karate? It was vile. Yes, we have. We mentioned that a little bit earlier on and said how bad it was. And also, Howard in Portsmouth says, I'm surprised no one's mentioned wood chip wallpaper because it covered a multitude of sins. You could have, you know, walls in your house that were full of nooks and crannies and holes. You know, it didn't really matter. Just put the wood chip over the top and paint it whatever colour you wanted, and that was absolutely fine. It's true, isn't it? Yeah. Julie in Blackwater says, Paul, love the programme, thank you. There was a very popular perfume in the 1970s, which I think, I would imagine you pronounce is 4711. 4711. 4711. Don't remember that, I must admit. But thanks very much indeed for that one. What else have we got? Love this one from Jacob. Jacob Ruddock says, perhaps you love the programme. I listen every night. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jacob's in Grays. He said, now then, concerning these clackers, I've been looking in the Wikipedia and apparently the clackers were eventually discontinued because children got injured whilst playing with them. The spheres, being made of hard acrylic plastic, could shatter upon striking each other. So that was a real waste of good money as well. Yeah, absolutely. And what he says, I don't understand this, Neil. So if this is rude, I'm reading this out in innocence because I don't know what this programme is, all right? But something's telling me that it's not bad. He said, I'd love to get your car starred on Pimp My Ride. He said, because I think it would boost the rating significantly. What's Pimp My Ride? It sounds very rude. I mean, if you put Pimp and Ride in the same sentence, that kind of up all sorts of things, especially when we've got Gongle and clackers on the go and everything else, or you're coming in, this needs an explanation.
No, it's absolutely fine. No, Pimp My Ride is where they get a knackered old banger and they soup it up. They soup it up.
How dare you? Knackered old banger?
Go faster stripes down the side. And
stripes would make my car go faster, I tell you.
Well, every little helps.
Yeah, this is very true.
Pimp My Ride is really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
We could pimp up a dusty bug by putting glasses on it, and
I've never seen this programme. Is it on the telly?
Yeah, it's on one of the satellite music channels. I think it's MTV.
Oh, is it? So it's a music channel with a car on it.
Well, come on, you're old enough to remember when MTV used to play music videos.
I do not remember. Is that when Sky was analogue? And
you get your wheel caps done. Your wheel caps. Get alloys on them and get them sparking. A great big exhaust pipe on the back.
Polish me wheel nuts, could I?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Put a little bit of fur on the dashboard.
Yeah.
Hanging dice on the
I've got fur on my dashboard.
Have you?
Yeah, I rubbed it the other day and I realised it's actually mould. I had no idea. I've got finger marks in it now. It'll take me 6 months for it to grow again.